Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, after an agonizing 3-year wait, we are back here at Whitehall Road with the Badminton Premier League. I am Brian Henderson.
And I'm Michael O'Mara.
And it gives me great pleasure to say that we are live here with badminton. So we'll just have a quick look at our multi-court cam here to give you an idea of some of the matches that are first up. Although we have many, many stacked matches coming up this evening. Michael, anything you're looking forward to thus far? Any standouts?
Yeah, firstly, fantastic to be back here and be live once again after 3 years. A couple of matches, I think Vinny Pontanoza, Jack O'Brien is going to be a good one. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the German Open under 17 and Swedish Open under 17 champion Michelle Schochen play. There's top matches everywhere, really, Brian.
Indeed, especially a little bit biased myself. I like a bit of my men's doubles, and I believe there's one in particular. Erwin Guan, Louis Lyons against Brian O'Mahony and Daniel Mira. You might have a little bit of skin in that game yourself, would you say?
Yeah, well, listen, it's this has been a very happy hunting ground for me over many years.
Yes.
So to see my son playing here tonight is it's nice, and it's a proud moment for me and the family.
Absolutely. Well, looks like the matches are underway, so we will start with our first match of the evening, which I believe we will start with the ladies singles. Yes. There we go. So here, I believe you were saying we have Lucy Fox, again, a very accomplished player in her own right, but she's up against quite the challenge today, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, listen, Lucy has a tough ask tonight. She's up against one of the up-and-coming talents of Irish badminton, unquestionably Michelle Schochen, and Lucy an under-19 international herself on a few occasions. But Michelle a couple of years younger, but most definitely a singles player and a great talent for the future.
Yes, but again, one of my favorite things about the Badminton Premier League is the scoring system, because it lends itself to being aggressive attacking players. And yes, on paper one player can be stronger, but in this scoring system it doesn't take a lot for someone to steal a set and put the pressure on the quote-unquote favorite.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have to say I would have loved to be maybe a few years younger myself to be out there, because as a doubles player, that all-out attack from love all, as the phrase would go, I feel the need.
The need for speed.
Absolutely. I think it's a fantastic. It's what badminton should be about. It should be exciting. It should be fast. There should be gunpowder all over the court, and it should be very interesting. But we've got a great opportunity to see one of who I believe will be one of the future stars of Irish badminton, Michelle Schochen here.
Yes. So I think Lucy actually had a small lead at 4-3 up there, but then Michelle, I think, starting to pull away a little bit here in this first one. Seemingly getting a lot of success in the front court. Like her drop shots seem to be getting a lot of penetration there and getting a lot of points from that.
Yeah, and maybe that could be maybe Lucy just getting into the game. We see a bit of Lucy Fox these days. She's studying in the University of Limerick, so we get to see and train with her a little bit down there. But look, it's anything can happen in this game. It's the best of 5 sets to 11, so plenty of time left yet.
Indeed. Okay, so that one, Michelle just again finding a range. Also, maybe with the having the spectators as well. Maybe people who are used to playing in this hall, but now you're adding the spectators in. That's like maybe throwing your bearings off a little bit. So maybe new to the BPL nights, you see some, especially the rear court, some misjudgments. But I think we just seen one from Michelle there. However, able to close out the set 11-5.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly different. I suppose arena to if you're playing an open tournament. There tends not to be so much going on at the back of the court, but playing a team event is much more. It's more of a cauldron of sport, if you like, and there's a lot more interaction from behind the court. And to be honest, it's what we want to see in badminton. It makes it much more exciting.
Oh, definitely. And I believe what I think I was listening to, I think on Joe Rogan's podcast. I think he was quoting like Floyd Mayweather. He says that, like, there's some really good fighters out there, but it's when they get under those lights, it's a different game. So like the players wouldn't be used to having like their names and like team walkouts and the lights down and you've got the strobe lighting. So that sort of atmosphere also, it's very different for these players. That's not something you get on a weekly basis in tournaments.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting. You know, we talk about players being technically good and the various different technique levels, you know, which are, it's important to be able to have lots of weapons in your bag, but at the end of the day you've got to be able to perform when the spotlight is on you, and that's why an event like this tonight is a really good event. But here we go for the second set. Michelle serving. High serve.
A little bit more aggression there from Lucy in that one, first thing.
Yeah, well, I think she's probably got the first set down, and she's saying, okay, you know, I'm only one set down. Let's get ready to rumble, really.
Yes, exactly. Again, Michelle straight smash, one of her stronger weapons, actually. She's definitely getting her money's worth out of that one.
Yeah, well, she is part of the talent squad system here in Ireland under the watchful eye of Dan McGee, but also a Skander. So, you know, she does get the best of training and coaching, and I think it definitely shows in her game, you know. But I think with Michelle as well, she's a fearsome competitor, which you've got to be, you know.
Definitely. Like, one of the things I think is Michelle's main strength is that no matter what the score is, she's always 100% grits her teeth and is just willing to go 100% all the time, and that she's able to dig herself out of a lot of positions, like score-wise, that like maybe a lot of people say, oh, you know, the set's kind of over, I've lost this set, where she definitely has the maximum effort Deadpool mentality.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to a young man down in Roscrea by the name of Luke Marks, Irish under-13 mixed doubles champion, and recently was capped over in Sweden. So I know he's watching tonight. So just a big hello to Luke and his dad, Patrick.
So 4-1, a small lead now. In this scoring system, leads do matter a lot more, obviously, because it's only up to 11. A 5-point lead is big, but it's still early in this set. I think Lucy, using the power play.
Controversial.
Indeed. So the power play, in case people don't know, is if you win the point, I believe you get 2 points.
That's correct.
So it's, I suppose you wanna use it tactically, but
correct.
At the same time you do want to use them. You know, there's no point going down with, you've still got ammo left in your gun, you know what I mean? If you're going to go down, you may as well empty the clips.
Yeah, and the whole idea of the power play is that it gets the players to think tactically, which, you know, my view would be that I think the older players have an advantage tactically on a lot of the younger players who tend to think, you know, focus on technique. But that's the whole idea, is that you get to choose when to use it. So brave call by Lucy.
Yes. I will also mention that when you lose the point, you don't lose 2 points. You only lose the 1 point.
Just the one.
Yes.
Just the one.
That would be a little unfair.
I think, to be fair, you know, anything other than a Michelle Shotchen win tonight would certainly be a surprise. You know, considering her, you know, as I said, she's the German Open under-17 champion. She's the Swedish Open under-17 champion recently. So there's a serious pedigree there, and there's a serious, you know, she's got some serious results under her belt, which don't happen by chance.
Yeah, and also just the sheer amount of like match practice, match time she has on court under her belt at this stage at such a young age. You know, so while I think obviously Lucy moves very well, she's a very accomplished player, but maybe wouldn't have that same tournament experience, certainly not in the last 12 months that Michelle would have.
Yeah, you know, last year, September time, you know, I was under 17 national coach in Slovenia, and Michelle led us out against France in the ladies singles, and she was only 14 at the time, and it was a very, very big ask of her. But to say she led us out, and she, you know, she went on court like a tigress, really, and she was fantastic. So there's no question that if you put her on a stage, she's well capable of handling the situation. You know, she's a fantastic player.
Yeah, it was great, and we're very happy to have her at the BPL. Glad she took time out of her busy schedule to come grace us with her presence. So,
just an unfortunate cross-court smash there by Lucy, just slightly missing the line. And
so we getting a power play here?
I thought maybe we were, but we're not.
She's
just
teasing us.
Just going for the towel, Brian.
Yes.
A set of 9-5 up, so getting to a crucial stage in this match.
Yeah, interesting, because I mean, Michelle's 2 power plays. Each player gets 2 power plays per match. Interesting, she's not choosing to use it now, and she's just choosing maybe to keep them both for the final set, perhaps.
Yeah, well, she doesn't need to use them. You know, people can see that Lucy has used one, but Michelle just hasn't felt the need to use them yet.
Perhaps maybe she's perhaps just looking for court time at this stage. Maybe that's the tactical decision. She'd rather have the extra point on court to get used to the lights and get used to the hall.
Well, I think if you don't need them, you don't use them. It's that simple. And she's 11-5 up. So, you know, it's a steep hill for Lucy Fox to climb here now.
Yes, agreed. So this one's looking a little bit comfortable, but we will keep you updated should anything change. So we're going to hop across to court number 1 here to have a look at a very exciting men's singles match. And the score would suggest in the first set that it was everything we expected it to be.
Yeah, you had a sneaky look at the score, didn't you, before you said that? Yeah.
You're outing me here. I'm trying to look intelligent here in front of everyone.
Pretending you didn't know. Yeah, you know, this is a very interesting one because Jack O'Brien is, you know, he took 2 titles this year. He took the Autumn Open title here, beating Sean Patrick Loretta, and he also took the Connacht Open title. So certainly the man in form. And Vincent Pontanoza, I think, certainly one of the most technically gifted players I think that we've produced in recent years, but has, along with Scott Gilday, very much focused on his doubles now.
Yeah, definitely. Him and Scott have a very bright future in the doubles. However, not letting go of that singles dream just yet. So we're obviously able to take the first set against someone as accomplished as Jack. Shows that he's still got those skills. He's still got the desire to play singles. Yeah,
I would, if I was a betting man, Brian, which I'm not, I would be putting money on, as he's known affectionately as the V-Man.
The V-Man.
I would be putting money on the V-Man here. I think he's technically very gifted. His footwork is how you would dream about moving. He really is technically one of the most gifted we've produced in recent years.
Yes, and noticing also like seems to have good hands at the front of the court, it's a difficult thing to teach. You know, to have that, being able to hold a drop shot and then push it long or hit a spinning tumble with a bit of deception. That's difficult to teach, but he seems to be able to do it quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's come up through the system and he's had a lot of good kind of tuition and coaching. And I think naturally he's, you know, some players are naturally more comfortable in the forecourt technique-wise, and Vinny is certainly one of those, you know.
Definitely. No, a little bit snatched at that one. He's a little bit too keen on that one, and unfortunately making the error into the net, but puts him 1 point down here as Jack looks to put on a bit of pressure to try to take this second set.
Yeah, a little bit, I suppose, wild from Vinny there, but I think what you can see is he is certainly playing an attacking game, which would be typical of a doubles player playing singles. You know, so it's, you know, he's 11-9, 4-6, so taking a little sneaky break here.
Yes, a little tactical break.
Little tactical break,
Dan's
maybe.
Been teaching him well.
So yeah, listen, it's this match could easily go either way here. There's no question about that. But I'm going to stick with the V-Man.
Stick with the guns, okay.
I'm going to say the V-Man. I don't know whether it's 3 or in 5, but I think I'll go with Vinny.
One way or another, his class is going to pull through. I think that's one of the things that sometimes Vinny can be a little bit erratic. He can get a little bit excited, as we've seen. Like he snatched at the net there, and then he wanted to paint the lines with that cross-court smash. Whereas, like, I think that's why him and Scotty make such a good pair. Scott can kind of rein him in a little bit, like help him keep his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, the last rally or two there now would suggest Vinny is saying to himself, okay, just keep it simple, you know, keep the shuttle in play the rallies, and don't make mistakes, and obviously let him make mistakes. So there's 2 mistakes Vinny has forced out of his opponent. So it seems to me he has turned the speed button down a small bit.
Indeed. So, yeah, Jack making a few unforced errors, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of him, especially being slightly up in the score. Oh,
yeah, good hit.
That was a good hit. Just decided he's not letting this set go. He knows how crucial the second set is.
The thing is, if you give Jack anything half or 3/4 court, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because there's a fair bit of gunpowder in his racket. Nice little bit of deception there from Vinny.
Again, those are those hands I was talking about, just especially off the serve. He gets a little bit of time and is able to hit the winner to bring it back to 7-all.
Yeah, of course, Vinny is fresh from the World Junior Championships recently, where himself and Scott Gilday performed so well in the men's doubles, and also he played a very good European under-19s in Serbia, which I was actually at. So yeah, he's a very, very talented kid, a very talented, certainly one for the future with himself and Scott Gilday.
No, definitely. We're definitely seeing a lot of him in the future, and he's turning out to be a very exciting player as well, so I'm very happy to see that. I think, yeah, Jack just feeling the pressure a little bit, feeling he's having to do more than he really needs to. I feel Jack should be trying to rally Vinny a little bit more. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but I feel like the longer the rallies go, maybe I'd say that's where Jack probably has his better chances.
Yeah, what's interesting here, you know, I suppose for those people who aren't maybe regular badminton watchers, you know, the ladies singles match was full of high serves, and the men's singles match is it's all low serves, Brian. So do you wanna comment on that?
Yeah, so usually in the men's game, the lift, anytime you can get an overhead shot, you can generally deliver that little bit more power, and it's that little bit more dangerous for you to lift to your opponent. So usually the forecourt is a little bit more important, because that lift is just that little bit more costly if you have to give it away.
Yeah, and I think the guys certainly will generate. They're a lot more dangerous when the shuttle comes up to the back of the court. And there we see Vinny Pontanosa, which I think I call that. Although it's not over yet, he's just taken the second set 11-7. So it's a bit of an ask now for Jack O'Brien, who, as you can see, has been coached there by Sam McKay. You know, certainly a fantastic exponent of the game, who has certainly created a great reputation for himself on the coaching front, and everybody speaks very highly of him. So it's nice to see Sam McKay there tonight.
Indeed, and then we've got Declan Bennett in the red corner.
In the red corner, yeah.
Indeed, as the players have very nicely got red. I suppose a purpley as opposed to a blue corner, but
cerise maybe
yes,
is the word. Cerise, yeah.
Yeah. So Jack, again, all to do here. I honestly thought he was going to steal that second set there, but just Vinny upped the pace a little bit, and then Jack just was not able to keep pace, really, unfortunately for him.
So what are you saying to Jack now? What would you say to Jack if you were his coach?
I would honestly, with Jack, be trying to have the rallies as long as possible, because Vinny's going to come out, as we can see, Vinny's going to come out and he's going to throw the kitchen sink at him to try to get an early lead. So I think where you're going to beat Vinny is to try to frustrate him, you know, keep long rallies there, and you will get unforced errors out of Vinny if you have like 20-25 shot rallies after another.
Yeah, this it'll be very interesting now. The first few points on this might give Jack hope, or it might there's Vinny put another one out the side. So Jack 2-love up, 2 errors from Vinny there, so maybe this one's going to go on for a while yet.
It could be. So also if Jack does take this one, especially with long rallies, it would at least, from my own perspective, me look like I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. So part of me selfishly wants Jack to take this one, but I'm sure Vinny would be very keen to close this one out in 3.
Yeah, there was a very good friend of mine who I spoke to recently, a guy called Tom Reedy, who's the former high performance director for Badminton Ireland, and actually played Olympics in Barcelona for the United States. But he once, you know, when he was quite young, he turned to me and he said, you know, if I'm playing you singles, and if you make more mistakes than I do, you're going to lose. And I think often that the number of unforced errors is something the younger ones just need to really be aware of when they play, because you know, nowadays if you lose a rally, you lose the point. You know, it's so you've got to be conscious of the amount of unforced errors that you're making.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not necessarily free points, because sometimes unforced errors can be somewhat forced, even though they go down statistically as an unforced error. But your opponent can kind of put I always call it like putting the squeeze on, like just put that pressure on you to force them out of you. But Jack getting off to the lead that he really needed to get in this third set if he wanted to have any chance, because we know Vinny's got a stretch of 5 or 6 points where he can just turn it on and hit winners left and right. So you need that buffer if you're going to take a set off him.
Yeah, I think what you'll see Vinny doing now is you'll see him just basically playing the rallies, keeping the shuttle in court, and hopefully get a few mistakes out of Jack and get back in the game, because yeah, that's what I think you'll see Vinny doing now, or at least that's what I would be coaching him to do. But then again, what would I know about him?
Well, see, this is the sort of play I'd expected Jack to do. Like like lifts and then slow drop shots, slow, 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 until he has the opportunity to put a little bit of pace in the rally. So it's him dictating what pace the rallies are going at. Because if you're just going 100%, I think Vinny wins those every time.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out to Derek Cray, the umpire. Derek recently at the Irish Open qualified as an international standard referee, so it's fantastic to see him officiating here tonight.
Exactly.
So shout out, Derek.
It also just shows the standard of the BPL from everyone involved. Not just us in the commentary booth, but the umpires and all those involved as well.
Yeah, it's not about us, Brian. No, I think you're right. I think the whole idea of the Premier League is that the top players get to play and compete against each other in this cauldron of badminton, this coliseum of badminton.
Yes, indeed.
And to have the umpires there, certainly the top umpires. Carol Farrell is here tonight. She's umpiring on court number 3. She umpired the 2012 Olympic ladies doubles final. So star quality all over the place tonight, Brian.
My goodness, yeah, I didn't realize that, but we are being treated then this evening. And that 4-point lead is just managed to have been cut in half to a 2-point lead. So still advantage Jack in this one. So we'll see if Vinny can keep his head and put together some sort of counter attack here.
A lot of pressure on Jack here now because he's 8-5 up, but he simply, he needs to close this one out now and take us into a fourth. And I thought he was going for the shuttle there, Brian, but he's only going for the towel.
I know.
They keep doing this to us.
Exactly. They keep teasing it. I don't know if these guys need to be reminded. I don't know. Do we send somebody down to tell their coaches, like, guys, come on, we need you help us out here. Throw us a bone here up in the commentary booth. We've been bigging up these power plays. We need someone to actually use them for us.
Yeah, see, Jack only now has one power play left, but he if he doesn't call it this time, if he wins the next point, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go for the power play. I really would.
Yes, because believe you can only use one power play per set.
Yeah.
As well. So like he's got two in the magazine. This would be me. I'd be wanting to use those in really good defense there.
Is he going to call for the power play? Is he going to call for it, Brian?
He doesn't look like he will. He's
9-5 up. No, it doesn't. Strange one.
That's an interesting call because you're like you are down. Yes, you're up in this set, but you are down.
The thing is, players aren't used to having power plays, so maybe he just didn't think.
True. Or unless he's thinking he's going the distance.
Exactly, and I'll save it.
Yes,
that's 5 sets. Absolutely.
That would be my justification for him not pulling out the tactical power play there. Oh, nice cross court.
Vinny just playing it very cautiously right now, just keeping it in play, not going for anything.
Indeed, yeah, just trying to keep his head.
That's out the back.
And he's done. And that's the style I was expecting Jack to use against Vinny, not the other way around. Now, Vinny's slice drop shots are very good. Also, he's got a bit of power behind him as well.
Vinny's called the power play.
Fantastic. Vinny wanting to close this gap here and now and do this 1 and 3, get it done.
Well, I think he's looking to apply pressure because if he wins the point, it's 9-all and there's massive pressure on Jack.
Yes.
But of course, Jack still has a power play left
of his own.
So all shall be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sticking with my call. I'm sticking with my man. Sticking with the V-man.
With Vinny. He's definitely still advantage. Although, yes. So power point. So if Vinny wins this point, it brings it to 9-all.
Good short serve. Net shot.
Was indeed. Oh, Jack overcommitted with the offense. Can't blame
9-all.
9-all. There. That's the power play. That's the difference a power play can make. That's why another reason I like the BPL so much. You have these extra little elements, these extra little avenues of tactics to use
that you don't see in day-to-day tournaments. Absolutely.
Not at all.
So Vinny 9-all short serve. Nobody wants to concede any ground here at all now. It's just don't make that. And he's made the mistake.
Jack. Yeah, he looked like he was in two minds there. Either he was trying to be deceptive or he was in two minds what he did. He seemed to hesitate a little bit.
Match point to the V-man.
Oh,
And there it is.
there it is. Game,
There
set, and
it
match.
is, game, set, and match. 3 sets to the V-man. Vincent Pontanoza, 11-9, 11-7, and 11-9.
Indeed. So as we thought, that would be a very tight match, and it did not disappoint.
No, I think you thought it would be a tight match, Brian.
I honestly
yeah.
thought that we were going to get at least 4 sets out of this one.
Well, listen, this 5 sets to 11 is a anything can happen, as we've just seen. Anything can happen.
Sure, we'll just hop across to our multi-court view here while we have a look at some of the other matches.
A fantastic match going on court number
3.
Number 3, which is Sophia Noble versus Shifra Flynn. Sophia Noble would be recognised as certainly the number 2 singles player in Ireland behind Rachel Dara, and Shifra Flynn unquestionably one of the very talented up-and-comers behind her. So I think you've got 2 young guns, one younger than the other, but I think I have to say I think this style of match would most certainly, I think, suit Shifra, because she does play a much more attacking game and she does have a lot of weapons, particularly overhead. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting now, but you've got 2 fantastic young women playing here, fantastic adverts for our game, fantastic role models for young girls and young boys as to, I suppose, to get involved in the wonderful sport that is badminton.
Absolutely. I think our kind of under 19, under 17 ladies divisions are absolutely stacked for Ireland right now. We've definitely been bringing home medals, have been getting really good results internationally in the respective divisions. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because Sophia, a bit more of a steady, grindy play style, like definitely would have the fitness advantage here, but then Shifra, a little bit more creativity from her. Now, again, Shifra can be a little bit hot and cold, so it will be a little bit depending on what Shifra we see tonight.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a big fan of both girls. I think Sophia she commands such fantastic respect for her, the way she is as a person, her work ethic, her professionalism. She really is a credit to I suppose her family and also the sport. But I'm a big fan of I suppose the Flynn family. They have 4 amazing girls who all play, and 2 of her sisters are actually here tonight. I think Nessa is playing, and also I think Sorka is playing for South Dublin Spartans. Their other sister is Orla, who's currently one half of the national senior ladies doubles champions. So an amazing I suppose article for Badminton Ireland and women in sport if they wanted it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely a family affair here for the BPL from the Flynns. So
yeah. So Brian, put your seatbelt on there. I think this is going to be a
definitely going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one, what I like about games like this is they are so difficult to call. Again, just because with Shifra, it's just not 100% sure which Shifra we're going to see tonight, and that's part of the excitement. Sophia is a little bit more predictable, a little bit more steady. I would say, we kind of know we know we're going to get a high level from her from start to finish. So it'd just be a case of what can Shifra do to disrupt the very consistent style of Sophia Noble.
Yeah, I think if I was coaching Shifra now, and I've had the privilege of doing so a few times when we've been abroad at tournaments, but I would be saying to her, look, you have weapons, make sure you're in the rally when you get a chance to use them. So I would be saying to her, make sure you play 7-8 shots and wait for your chance. Don't put it in the net early, just wait for your chance, because she's very, very good overhead.
Yes, although for Shifra it's always because when you know you have those weapons, it can be hard to not try to use them from the first shot of the rally. As we see, a little bit of deception, a cross-court smash already in the first couple of shots from Shifra.
Yeah, she's certainly come out, and she's very good constructed rally there. She was aggressive, but at the same time she was being patient, and I think if you're going to be aggressive, you've got to be patient, and a nice cross-court stick smash there to go 1-love up.
Indeed, especially after maybe 3-4 straight players in a row, showing that she's waiting for her, as I say in baseball, she's waiting for her pitch. She's not just swinging at the first fastball that comes her way. She's waiting for something that's right in her hitting zone, right in her pocket, and then before that shot.
Yeah, I think the key for her is definitely just to stay in the rallies, because Sophia is most certainly not going to give you 3 points, and you just wait until you get a chance to pull the trigger.
Oh, definitely.
So that's the key.
Yeah, snatching that one a little bit, I still think that was the right thing to do. She was able to jump out and cut that one off. It was a little bit short, so I think she did the right decision there, just snatched that a little bit, and unfortunately made the error into the net.
And that's a very good judged flick from the net by Shifra, who's gone 3-2 up. You know, of the singles players that we have, there's no question she's the one with, I think, with the weapons. There's no question about that.
Oh, definitely.
And there is a question, certainly in my mind, as to whether the future is in singles or perhaps it may be in doubles or mixed. Who knows?
Yes.
But I think she's only 15, so time will tell.
We'll not put too much pressure
on
her
yet.
No.
No.
But yeah, definitely. If you want to make it in the international game, you usually have to pick your disciplines. And yeah, so I think it's usually kind of around 17, 18, 19. That's when you really make your decision on which discipline you want to focus on.
And the great thing with her is I think she'll have the choice of, because she has the weapons, she's got the technique, and she's gone into a 5-2 lead here.
Yeah, comfortable little 3-point lead to start with, which is what you. Ooh, that was an ambitious round ahead.
Yeah, she does tend to go around the head quite a lot, and you would wonder sometimes whether she should just, play it on the backhand side and drag it. But
yeah,
3-5.
Yeah, maybe just take the medicine. Understand you can't play a winner off this particular shot. Wait for 1 or 2 more, and you'll get your opportunity.
So Sophia is really hanging in there, 4-5. Playing extremely well and consistent.
Yeah, I think that Sophia's very similar to Michelle in that last one. She's never really out of the match. She kind of just goes about her business. She's happy to grind the rallies, not worry about the score too much, and just play her way back in.
Very good, very good spinning net shot by Shifra there. I have to say I would like to see her maybe push forward into the forecourt a little, particularly when Sophia is in the rear court. Just would give her the opportunity to take command of the net, force the lift, and then she can use her weapons overhead.
Yeah, that's probably where we're going to see most of her winners' points come from tonight. Yes, her hands are very good. She's got some deception at the net, which is great to see. But again, I think that deception is going to be setting up her weapons overhead.
Yeah, it was certainly a close call there.
It was close. I will say, normally when I was commenting, I would mention that just due to the camera angles.
Yeah, it's very hard to see.
It's hard to see, so usually it will look slightly in when it's actually, if you're looking at on the line, it is actually out. So that's one thing. So when we're looking on the camera, just remember that it might look, oh, that was on the line. Well, actually, it might have been slightly out.
But it's also worth noting that while we have umpires tonight and no lines people, the umpires do have the option of overruling. So the fact that he didn't suggest that, it was out.
What's the term they use in rugby? There has to be like if they're going to overrule it with VAR, there has to be like it's not a noticeable difference, but there's a term they use for it. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm not sure. I watch rugby, but I don't know what the term is.
No, there's a term. I'll see if I can dig that out. It's going to annoy me now that I can't remember.
I think it has to be obvious.
Yeah, it's something like that. It has to be like clear, like a clear difference, like for you to overrule.
And Sophia is calling for the power play, so she's 9-6 up, and she's really saying, okay, I want this first set.
Like it.
Do you like that, Brian? Do you like that?
I personally think you want to get this out. You want to show that you're ready to use the weapons at your disposal and really get off to a quick start.
And she's missed it. Yeah, and I think that's first set to Sophia. I think what you've seen here is that you've seen, I suppose, Sophia play it to her strengths, and Shifra probably make a few errors that usually come with, when you're trying things and when you're going for winners, you're going to make some errors. And I think Sophia was probably saying, well, that's going to be my tactic, and it's paid off. She's 11-6 up.
Yeah, definitely. Which is strange because Shifra was ahead in this game. She had I think a 2 or 3 point lead at one point. So you would think that would give her like the freedom to play her own game, that she wouldn't feel rushed into like trying to squeeze out winners when she didn't have to.
Yeah, well, I think for me, if I could blend these two players together, I think you would have the perfect singles player. Sophia is the epitome of, she moves well, she makes very few mistakes, she's a very good competitor, she does all the things you would want a singles player to do. whereas Shifra, a lot of weapons, and it's a question of using your weapons at the right time and not making mistakes.
Oh, definitely. I think, again, Shifra really good to watch. But you are, again, just sometimes rolling the dice to see what numbers come up every time the shuttle touches her racket, as we can see right there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wild kind of cross-court slice, but
I think usually, though, in up to 21, Shifra's second game is nearly always better than her first, from what I've seen. I've seen her lose the first set like 21-9 and then come back and like take the second set like to setting, or even win the second set. So the problem is in the BPL, by the time you get into the second set, it's the third set in this, and it's do or die.
Absolutely. And it is, everything is different about tonight. It's like a different sport. You've got to get into the match from the word go. I still think I would like to see Shifra take the forecourt and move her base up a little bit further, particularly when she's, for example, now I would like to see her base further up court.
Yes, I see what you mean. She had her pinned. She had 2 or 3 shots in a row there, Sophia, in her backhand corner. At most she's going to hit a high clear, in which case you should in theory have time to move back for that.
Yeah.
But she was clearly moving her base back and actually got caught out by the straight drop, which, if you looked at the statistics, if somebody is deep in their backhand side, that is probably one of the more likely shots that they're going to play. So in theory, you should take the opportunity to cheat up the court into that corner.
Yeah, I think you have to be creative and move your base. Your base shouldn't always be the center of the court, and I think that's probably something something I would be saying to Shifra now. If she puts Sophia in the 2 rear court corners, I would be saying move your base forward.
Again, I don't know how often Sophia as well would hit a cross-court drop shot either. That'd be something interesting to look at.
Interesting call from Shifra. She's playing the power play from 2-4 down,
and with the going with the high serve as well, as saying right, Sophia, let's see what you got. Nice, a little bit of standing and watching that one. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, just unfortunately another unforced error. That's that's why she's 11-6, 5-2 down.
Yep, that is true. Now, I do see what she's coming from. I don't mind using the power play there, because you think, right, you're a couple points down, use this power play, get myself right back in this set. I like where she was. I like the idea, the tactics behind that. Just unfortunately not able to execute. Oh, again, that round ahead, it just seems a little bit too ambitious for me.
Yeah, sometimes you're better just to step onto the backhand and play a drag, Brian.
Yeah, or even if you're going for the round ahead, to go round ahead and try to do a cross-court reverse slice.
Yeah,
like that's...
And the danger with it is if you go around the head, as in into your backhand corner, and you stretch around the head to play it, and it can easily put you out of position for the next shot. And I just think that, Shifra would be better off just playing a backhand drag there.
Yes, yeah, because then usually, well, I know with myself anyway, the next step you have to take is to stop yourself from falling over.
Yeah, were you a singles player, Brian, or in your day?
Very, very. I think I was about 17 the last time I took a singles match seriously. I very quickly took the opportunity to specialize in doubles and mixed.
Yeah, I've played. I was doubles and mixed as well, but. I've only ever played one singles match at senior international level, so I remain unbeaten, Brian.
Yes, there you go, 100%.
I remain unbeaten.
Yes, international singles record. That not very many people can say that.
What we want to see Shifra get back into this. We really do.
Definitely, yeah, because at 9-3, it's starting to run away with this one a little bit.
(11-6, 9-3). Uncharacteristic error there from Sophia Noble.
I wonder if she's starting to, maybe she's relaxing a little bit. She's like, I'm 9-4 up. Maybe I'll just try a few shots here. You normally don't see that from her.
Yeah, I think both of them, there's a lot of unforced errors, and if you make unforced errors, particularly in this format, you're going to be a couple of sets behind very quickly. And now that's the one where I think she should be much further up court.
Well, I think you did call that right. She pinned her to the backhand and she was almost standing at the net. which was the right thing to do. I think you definitely called it right there. But just again, execution just does not seem to be there tonight for Shifa.
Yeah. What's I'm going to throw out at this stage to anybody listening, and I don't know how many people are tuning in, but in 2 weeks' time, the Leinster Open is on here in Whitehall Road, and I have to say, looking at the entries, there is a fantastic entry in the ladies singles. Aside from Rachel Darrow, who's abroad, every other I suppose person who would fancy their chances is actually playing in it, and the same in the men's. So if you're not busy on Saturday week, come on down.
I would definitely suggest that. Now, we had a little in the office midweek. We had a look at the draw, especially like the mixed draw. Someone was talking about. There are no easy games. It's like a nationals draw.
Absolutely.
Everybody is turning up to the Leinster Open this year, which is great to see.
So let's see, will Shifa get off to a much better start here? Have to give a big shout out to the man, the myth, the legend tonight. If you're watching the streaming here, you know, it's international standard, it's top class. The man himself, Philip McKeown, is in charge of all that, and to be honest with you, he has taken the game and the experience of watching badminton to an entirely different level. So big shout out to the man they call Phil.
Definitely, and I believe he's been doing like other tournaments like the Paras as well, and he had some of the tournament representatives from like Scotland and England coming over, practically begging him to come over and help them out with their tournaments as well. Just
wanting to know how it's done,
exactly,
how the best.
Just wanted to pick his brain, just so they wanted to copy. Yeah. We have such a good setup here that he's managed to do over
They were coming to Top Gun, basically.
Exactly.
Coming to Top Gun.
Yes, the technology Top Gun here at Badminton Ireland. But definitely, yes, and no, definitely big thanks. A lot of the streaming would not be possible without him. So big thank you. Also, the gear that we're currently talking to you on, all courtesy of Phil as well.
Yeah, I'm afraid this one looks like it's going to go the way of Sophia Noble with 3 sets, and it's just, you know, she's just more consistent and more steady than Shifra.
Yeah, again, that round ahead, she's really trying that round ahead cross-court net shot. I don't think I've seen her hit one over yet, but I mean, at this stage, 4-1, 3 points gap in the third set, it's going to be tough to see her changing her tactic too drastically from here.
(4-2). So let's come on, Shifra.
Yep, that's one back.
You know,
that's
come
one
on.
Back.
2-4.
Just a quick run of points here. She has one power play left, I believe. So hopefully you'd like to see her use that sooner rather than later, I would say.
Oh, she's put it out the back, unfortunately.
I mean, right idea. She attacked and then came forward and tried to really take the initiative. So, you know what? I think she's doing the right things. Just her execution tonight just has not really been there.
Yeah, I just think that Sophia, you know, Sophia's strength is, you know, she's consistent. She doesn't make mistakes. She works you very hard. She's willing to work very, very hard herself. So if you're going to beat Sophia Noble, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to stay out there, you know, and you're really going to have to put in a shift. And I think that's why she's winning tonight. And I think that's why she will win this in 3 sets.
Definitely. And also, I have to eat my words a little bit. Shifa just hit a round ahead cross-court slice winner.
Is her mic down there, Phil? Is she listening? Is she hearing us?
I hope she doesn't rewatch the stream. She's definitely going to mention that to me on Thursday if I'm at training. But yeah, so Sophia, like, you have to beat her. You know, you have to go out and you have to beat her. You can't win a decision against her, to use a boxing or a UFC term. You have to, like, you have to
knock her out.
Yes, you have to knock her out. You're not going to get a judge's decision. You can't passively dance around and get a judge's decision. Like, you have to go out there. You have to hit your winners. And
she's going for the power play.
Oh, great. Oh, she is indeed. She wants to really put this one to bed, which is fair enough, because right now, 2-point lead. Yeah, Shifa's sort of still in it, but this would definitely put it to bed.
And there it is, 8-4. Just, I suppose, important to note that young Shifa Flynn, at 15 years of age, you know, she took the Autumn Open ladies doubles with Jenny McGee, and she took the mixed doubles with a young man called Daniel O'Mara. So it's a very nice double for her on the day for somebody so young.
Definitely. Yes, many. I think sometimes it's easy to forget how young some of these players are. They do have like a lot of years of like maturity and training under their belt before they're really going to see their true potential start to flourish.
9-4. So yeah, Brian, I think it looks like 3 straight here.
Yeah, I think we'll see the end of this point, and then we shall hop across.
See what other games are going down.
I think so. I believe there's one you can see on our peripheral. Might be starting soon. Tell you what, we haven't been to court 4 yet. We'll have a quick hop at court 4. My goodness, definitely the closest match thus far against the Woods sisters.
Against one of her sister is playing on the other court.
Yes.
Nasa Flynn.
One of the Flynn sisters, one of the many.
One of the many.
Yes, many Flynn sisters who are involved in badminton at this high level. So 2 sets to 1 for the Woods sisters now. Nope. 2 sets all.
2 sets all. I think we'll stay with this, Brian.
Indeed, I think we could. So it's quite the swing in momentum as well. I have to say, like the Woods sisters losing the first, picking up the next 2, and then now losing the 4th. So this momentum is, and the second and third set for the Woods sisters look by this like 6 and 5. That looks quite comfortable as well. Yeah,
I think it's going to be whoever gets off to a good start here. And sitting in the umpire's chair tonight, a shout out to Mr. Seamus Halpin, who's one of our 2 BWF standard umpires, so can umpire at the highest level and does on a regular basis. So great to see him in the chair tonight.
Definitely, it's a great way to see the world. If you look at his social media posts, it seems every other month he's in a different part of the world.
That's it. Anyway, love all. Final game.
Ooh, that's going to be expensive. That could be expensive at this stage of the match, but still early doors.
It's early days. It's early days.
And we'll not panic yet. We'll not read too much into it. It's only the first point. That's 2 into the net. Maybe a little bit of nerves creeping in.
Of course, the Wood sisters, a bit like the Flynn sisters, there's 4 of them. There's Rachel and Rebecca, both in college, I think over the UK, one of them in Loughborough. Very, very talented players in their own right. I think Rachel won the under-19 European Games, I think the University Games ladies doubles title, which was so yeah. Not only do we have 4 Flynn sisters, but we've also got 4 Wood sisters as well.
Indeed.
Not all playing tonight, but nonetheless 4 Wood sisters.
Indeed, playing somewhere and winning somewhere
Absolutely.
as well. It always helps if you have siblings who play. You know, you never struggle for good training partners then. Yeah, just a few, I guess 3 out of 4 mistakes into the net there from the Woods. So I think just, there we go. That's probably the point, that 1-2 punch there that we were used to seeing. Oh, pulling out their power play, which they haven't used any of yet. This is their first power play.
Interesting play. 2-4 down. They're going for power play.
Must be trying just to even this one out as soon as possible. But it's interesting though, they haven't. So they have 1 power play now they can't use.
Yeah, it's about basically being, serving well, receiving well, and just keeping the shuttle on court.
Definitely. I think that's the first power play we've seen. Oh, sorry, no. Sophia had 1 as a win. I thought that was the first power play we saw actually winning as the winning pair, but I stand corrected. So that brings it back to 4-all.
5-4.
Oh, that would have been a nice one for them to get a let.
Yeah, it's you think the Blue Sox might catch on? Would you fancy a pair yourself?
I've seen them kind of come and go. I know formerly Jenny McGee, she sported them for a little bit. I think they're cool looking. Yeah. I don't know if I personally could pull them off. Personally, I think that my calves are one of my best features, so I feel I need to show them off whenever I can. So I don't know if they're my thing, but I definitely think that some
I hear
people
you. I'm with you on the calf thing.
Could definitely benefit from them.
So 6-4, final game.
Well, that 2-point difference, that was the power play, you could argue. That's brought them right back. They're now ahead in this match.
I'll go for the Wood Sisters. Not because they're 6-4 up, but I'm just going to for the Wood Sisters.
Yes, I noticed you said that first before I could have the opportunity to pick one right. You picked yours first. Okay, I'll go for the Nastia and Flynn then. I think they're going to show the calmer heads here. That'll be the big difference. Oh, and a neck cord. I've cursed it. I have cursed him. Commentator's curse.
7-5. At this stage, you'll take anything that you can get.
Definitely.
You might apologize, but you certainly won't mean it.
Yeah, definitely.
That looked like it was in. Yes, it was. 8-5. Yeah, a couple of unforced errors there. 9-5.
Indeed. Not the pair I thought would be making the unforced errors.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, you didn't go for the Wood Sisters, Brian. She didn't. No, you didn't. No, okay.
I didn't. No, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. It's not over yet.
True.
It's still not. Maybe a sneaky power play.
They've used their 2 power plays.
Yes, they have. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Yes, I mean that. The thing is, because they are on this side of the court, that's what's making it. Cross court for the winner, and there
it is. As they say, it is all over.
It is indeed. So I believe we now have a men's doubles on court number 2 that we can hear making some noise in the arena. So I think we will go straight over to see what's happening here. So this is the match that I picked at the start. Would be a good one to watch.
Yeah, you're putting me in a difficult position here now, big man, because I'm normally not one to watch my own young fella playing. I just tend to leave him to his own devices. But Daniel and the pride of Cork, Brian O'Mahony is I would say the finest player that Cork has ever produced. Mm-hmm. He's a holder of 4 National A titles, singles, doubles and mixed. And
yep, I've lost to him in a final myself, so I can attest to how good he is.
Yeah, no, he's him and Daniel play quite well together. Daniel bit more maybe flair than Brian, but Brian is just so solid on court. He serves well, he returns well, he doesn't make mistakes, and
he's got the power to put his opponents under pressure, and then that sets up Daniel's creativity.
Well, I think the power from the 2 lads would certainly come from Daniel.
A little uncharacteristic, unforced error.
But you know what? Brian. You know what? It's again, we get back to the scoring system. Anything can happen. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. The 2 boys at this end now are both, training regularly in the HP setup in sparring partners in the national arena. So they do have a huge advantage in terms of the quality of training they're getting basically on a regular basis.
Indeed, and they just came off a very good result, very good match that they had in the Irish Open against the pair from Chinese Taipei, who eventually lost out in the semi-finals to the winners, the pair from Japan. So they managed to take them to 3, I believe. And we're very much in it, so if they can play that well against an international pair of that quality, then obviously they're going to be a tough match for anyone.
And I'm wondering why we don't have a power play here.
Yes, 8, first 9. Set, like... Nice. There we go.
Now we'll probably have a power play. Yep, we have a power play. And that's the whole point of having it, is that players get to make a tactical decision, which I would feel some of the younger players are not the strongest at doing, but
yes,
here we go.
Nice.
And that's why they paid him the big bucks.
Exactly.
That's why you go for the power play.
Exactly, because the other guys at 8 and 9 down had the opportunity to use their own power play, and that maybe could have switched things up. That would have put them, if they won that, obviously that put them at 10-9 up, game point up. But here we are. They managed to take the opening set there, 11-9. It would be nail biter as I thought it would be.
Yeah, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Darrell Eade from Ennis, out on court coaching Daniel and Brian. So Darrell continues to do wonderful things in Ennis with Badminton. He's got his own academy going on there, and really has rejuvenated Badminton there. And you know, he was the person behind getting a team from Munster into the Premier League. So it's fantastic to see them all here tonight. It was shout out to Ruth Kilkenny, who unfortunately couldn't make tonight because she got injured.
Oh no, last minute?
Yeah, last minute injury. So I believe Lucy Fox is going to double up in mixed.
Okay, so I trust the injury was not too serious.
I think, I'm not sure, I don't know.
But yes, I know commentating on a family member can be difficult, but if you can, I've had the pleasure and unfortunate experience at the same time of having to commentate on my girlfriend's matches. So if there's pressure to be biased, believe me, I felt it.
Yeah. So I have no idea who's watching tonight, but my daughter is actually here watching also. I have a feeling my wife is at home watching the toy show when she probably should be watching her son. But there you go.
Yes, indeed. But hey.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night.
Christmas is coming.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, 2-1. Would like to see Brian a little bit more aggressive on the net when Daniel is in the rear court hitting and just not giving away the attack. The forecourt player's job is really to, well, try and finish the rally, but if you can't, you don't give the attack away. So
a really good smash there from Louis. Louis would traditionally be known a little bit more of a singles player, but he's definitely in the last several months looking to really adapt to the doubles game, especially with Irwin kind of, I don't say guiding him, as he's also still quite a young lad himself, but definitely like adapting and kind of gelling that together with that partnership, somehow making it work.
Yeah, the two boys, as I said, they're in the HP setup as sparring partners, and they're both you know, they're getting practice regular. And you see from Brian O'Mahony there just putting the shuttle up the centre of the court, and I don't think enough players hit it down the middle. They tend to go down the sides and make mistakes. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give any player in doubles is use the centre of the court. The chances of you making a mistake are far less, and you're also narrowing the angle for your player in the forecourt. Yeah,
you're also you're not giving your opponent, yes, as you said, as many angles to work with. That for making your net player easy. It's making it easier for them to cut things out.
So 5-4, Louis Lyons to Brian O'Mahony.
That's such an umpire comment. You can tell all your umpiring experiences is coming out right there.
Well, as you know, I am an umpire.
Yes, indeed. Quite a qualified umpire, I believe.
No, I'm actually just a local umpire, level 1, but I'm going for my level 2 in at the under 15 and 19 nationals. So look, it's all about giving something back and just adding to the game, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we need more umpires, and you know, I mean, someone like Seamus Halpin could easily be umpiring at the Paris Olympics, so there's fantastic opportunities for people there, you know.
Indeed. Get a front row seat. That seat can sometimes get a little bit hot, but definitely one of the better seats in the house. Yeah, I see Brian there playing a block to the net, but at the same time taking the lift, and I would prefer to see him, if he's playing the block, you know, following it in and leaving the overhead to Daniel. That would be the traditional way of playing men's doubles. Yes, to kind of guarantee that, to really switch that kind of either defense or neutral ground into a clear attacking opportunity. So 8-5. It's 9-5, so it looks like we could be going one set all here pretty soon. Yes, Irwin and Louis, again, as you mentioned, they're in the academies and stuff. They're a very difficult pair to break down. As you see there, just a really good defensive shot by Irwin, despite these guys. That's a good hit. Clearly having them under pressure. Now, obviously, they managed to win the rally, but, you know, against other pairs, they would have won that rally 2 or 3 shots before. Very important, I think, to be hitting the right spots when you're smashing. I mean, it's got to be pretty steep, but you should also be looking at you know, hitting towards the centre of the court, but also maybe hitting right hips, because it makes it a bit more important, a bit more difficult to retrieve. Nice smash again. That center that you mentioned earlier, Louis taking advantage of.
Yeah, and again, when you hit down the center, Brian, it's not only that you're not going to hit it out the sides, it's a safer option, but you're also looking at the two players the far side, and you're going, you guys decide who's going to take it. And that's what you found there. There was a bit of, is it mine, is it yours, I'm not sure, you take it, I'll take it, and before you know it, the shuttle is on the floor and it's one set all.
Yes, exactly. The speed of the game, you don't have time to discuss it in a committee and have a vote on it. Somebody has to take it.
I think the positioning of where you stand when you're playing doubles is very important, and it's really just depending on where the smash is coming from. You'll either move left or right, and you'll have your areas that you're covering and I'm covering.
Absolutely.
And that is very important to get those right.
Yeah, and I suppose that sometimes you just need time on court in tournaments with your partner in order to kind of work those things out. And then also it's because it's a living, changing thing, so it's hard to like set in stone, like you stand here, I stand there. You have to kind of evolve and go with it as the games progress.
Well, communication is very important. You should always be talking to your partner and talking about things like that. Brian's struggling with the flick there. It seems to be causing him problems.
Yeah, and do you think Brian,
good return by Daniel,
was it last season, had a bit of a foot injury? I believe that was he was out for half of a season maybe, and I think maybe it's some of his footwork is not, maybe he's not coming back quite the same as it was, or maybe it's a little tentative.
Yeah, maybe.
Because his shots all seem like he's there, just maybe not getting into position or as much movement, freedom of movement that we would have seen him previously. Really good jump serve there by Louis.
And up goes Daniel for the jump smash. Would like to see Brian. That's
nice.
it. Good shot from Brian.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned earlier there, it's as if Brian must have been listening to you.
You think this? Yeah, I had my suspicions.
Yes,
as a mic on the court.
I think so. I think the coach is listening, listening to your commentary. But basically, Brian hitting that block and immediately following it in. Therefore, their opponents had no choice but to lift it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Daniel serving very well. He serves well, and he's particularly good on the third shot. So as you see there,
hitting the tape on the way over. There's a little bit of change of pace there from Brian. It seemed to do the job. If those of you if you're always smashing, you're always hitting one pace. It's you're at this level, your opponents can adjust to that very quickly. But then Brian just throwing that slower ball in there, just throwing his opponents off.
But you know what? If you can serve well in this format, and Daniel has served probably 5 really good serves in a row now, and that's why they're 6-1 up. Yeah,
they're just on a roll. His serve is putting them in really good position to start the rally. And that's just, they're on like the other pairs of, they just can't break out of, they just cannot break this. The train's got momentum now.
Yeah, the train is full steam ahead.
Yes.
Shout out to the lady in the chair tonight, Carol E. Arrigal, or Carol Farrell as she's also known. Again, umpire the ladies doubles 2012 London Olympics. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that for as an umpire to do an Olympic final. No. I asked her how did it feel to toss a coin in front of 50 million people, because that's who was watching her, and rather her than me, Brian.
Indeed, yes. I think I'd be very nervous. I think I definitely would not want to know that before going into the final.
No. I think a Chinese pair were in it, so
Oh yes. I think was it Scott Evans had that title of the most watched Irish athlete, because he was playing against Lin Dan in China, I believe 2008.
Yeah. Yep. Lin Dan, the man, the legend.
Indeed, yes. I think it was first round and everything. So from that was the most watched Irish athlete for a long time.
A mistake from Daniel. So it's what are we? We're 4-8. So important for certainly from Daniel and Brian now to not make any mistakes in the next few points and really push forward.
Yeah, try to keep cap. Oh, he got that. It tried the cheeky flick up the middle.
Cheeky flat serve up the middle.
Brian was ready for it though.
So we don't have service judges here tonight, but certainly the umpire can, if he or she feels necessary, they can actually make the call on the serve.
But of course, obviously, being in the umpire chair a lot yourself, you know that that angle that you're looking
very hard to call it.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Can't call it. Well, you can, but you've got to be, It
has to be very obvious. It has to be a tennis serve practically to call it.
It's got to be hit below the waist, which is the bottom rib. So
dusted off that
the
third set.
The Munster boys take the third set to go 2-1 up. So, yeah, it's still all to play for, Brian, you know.
Definitely. Now, they did make that second set look comfortable, as I say, with that steam train of Daniel serves, able to get them a nice, comfortable lead. That even when they looked a little bit shaky, but they could afford to make a few errors and still win the set very comfortably.
Yeah, it's important now, particularly important. I mean, if I was Brian or Daniel, I would be saying, okay, we're 2-1 up here. Let's just get off to a good start. I mean, it's always important. You've got to do the basics right, and sometimes people are, you know, focused on trying to hit impressive flash winners. But if you don't do the basics right, which is serving and returning in men's doubles or even in ladies doubles or mixed, you've got a big hill to climb. So
Indeed.
you do the basics right, you get easy points.
True. What do you think? What were your thoughts on using a power play right off the bat? Obviously, they just lost that. In hindsight, you shouldn't do it. But what were your thoughts about using power play right off the bat, try to get a 2-0 start?
No, I wouldn't have done that. But look, you know, it's easy to say from up here.
Yes. Yeah, because I think for me, I would consider using it early, just because. But I'd want a couple of points to kind of feel like where the momentum is first.
You see, the thing is, they had 2 power plays, so they have to use 2. So yeah, maybe let's go from love all. See, can we get 2 love up? You know, who knows? Oh, what do I know? You know, what do I know?
Yes, well, neither of us have actually played this format before, so we're theory crafting. We're the armchair generals here.
Yeah. Now, I've never played this, but I certainly during my career we would have played 1 or 2 triangular internationals with Scotland and Wales, but it was actually the first to 9. It wasn't actually 11.
Okay.
But it's the same thing. You just can't afford to make mistakes.
Indeed.
Another good hit from Daniel.
Indeed. I think the only time I've tried this format was when I think I was training with Aylesbury for a little bit, and they had their BPL training night specifically for this, where these had the power plays, they had up to 11. So I jumped in for a little bit of sparring a few years ago for that, and it is fun, but it is pressure. You do have to be switched on from the word go.
It's a very different game, and the Munster boys now 4-1 up in the 5th set, so you're really looking for Brian just to keep the serving going. Don't change it, just keep some good quality short serving in play and make it difficult for the far end.
Indeed. You would think or hope that the next opportunity that Irwin and Louis get, I think they would really be needing to use one of these power plays just to try to get them back in the match as quick as possible.
Yeah, an attack was unnecessarily given away from me there. Well taken back by Brian.
Yep, again, that block shot, it wasn't the prettiest or it wasn't the tightest block, but
doesn't have to be.
The pressure, him coming in after it, able to put them under enough pressure. Louis felt he had to do more with it than he needed to. Good hitting there from Irwin, able to, again, down that center.
And we have a power play.
Fantastic, great to see. Really needed to. It's at 2-6 down.
So just don't... Important that Brian gets this back in play now. And it paid off.
It did.
It absolutely paid off.
Great. 7-2.
Yeah.
Going to start feeling that this one's maybe starting to get a little bit too far away from these guys.
Yeah, very important in doubles if you're playing. You've always, when you're on the defence, you've always got to be looking to take a step up court and be the person that sees the space, plays the block and steps forward and forces the lift. That's very, very important. That's the difference between a really good doubles player and an average doubles player.
Indeed, yes. If anyone was watching the Irish Open 2 weeks ago now, that was definitely something that I noticed. At that international level, both players are almost standing waiting to jump the net. You know, neither player is wanting to stand back.
Yeah, absolutely. The reality is in men's doubles, if you control the net, then you're going to be attacking an awful lot more, and the pair that attacks the most generally wins.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an unnecessary lift from the net there by Brian.
Yeah.
You know, you've really got to be more aggressive in the forecourt, you know, and just stubbornly refuse to give away the lift unless you have no other choice.
Yep.
You know, so that's what I would be saying to the two boys.
Yep, nice one from Daniel right there. must be listening again. Sets up.
No, well, he must be listening to you, Brian, because he doesn't listen to me.
I'm sure he does, but he can't.
No, he doesn't.
Can't make it look like he can't ever admit that he is listening to you. Have you noticed him doing the exact opposite of what you say?
Absolutely. His claim to fame is that he's won an A national double, something I could never do, and he tells me.
Nice. So good.
And as they say, it is all over.
Indeed.
11-5.
I have to say, after the first 2 sets, a little shaky, but 11-4, 11-5 in the last 2 sets. They made that.
No, I thought it was always there. You know.
You never in doubt.
No,
yes.
never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Okay.
Never. So yeah, listen. There must be many other games for us to watch.
1 set all. Here we go. Just hop onto court number 4 here for our ladies doubles.
And so it's 1 set all, and you know what? I mean, I have to give a shout out to Bethany Wong. I mean, what can I say? 6 weeks ago, she had her first child, who's here tonight with her husband Cormac somewhere, probably fast asleep, and here she is tonight playing Premier League badminton. And I'm not even going to mention the fact that last season, when one of our colleagues, our friends, went into cardiac arrest, Bethany was 2 courts up. She basically saved his life. So yes. Bethany Wong, I mean, not all superheroes wear capes, as they say.
Not at all, but now we're very glad that she's back, and that's some motivation to have a kid and then be back on court playing at this level that quickly.
And her partner this evening from Ennis's, Sophia Dwyer, who is currently, and very recently, the Munster Open ladies singles and doubles champion. So a girl who was out of the game for a few years came back with a gusto last year, and is playing incredibly well.
And it's great to see that. It shows you that it's never too late to come back and play.
Yeah, and the more girls we can get involved in playing and ladies doubles, come on ladies, dust your rackets off, come on down.
Yes, that's one thing about about badminton that a lot of other sports maybe don't have, is that like a lot of these team events are 50-50 split. You need everyone's like you can have good players, but you need like a well-balanced team overall. So like everyone's just as important as everyone else. So whereas maybe some other sports wouldn't have that balance, but that's one thing about badminton, that it is inclusive in that way.
Oh, very much, yeah. It's a very, very, very inclusive sport. But again, I'm just completely in awe of just watching Bethany out there. I really am. She's living in Cork with her husband Cormac, a cardiologist, I believe, down in University Hospital down in Cork, and a member of the Carrigaline Club.
Yes, a very legendary club.
Yeah, I think that's there's 1 or 2 famous players from down there. Okay, I think,
yes,
isn't there?
Yes, I think so. Very well-known club, I have to say.
Very well-known club, yeah. I mean, there's a famous Ashley Coyne might be her name. I think is a member of the Carrigaline Club.
Yes, I was trying not to mention it, but I think a cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, you thought. Yeah, sorry, I just had to bring that in there. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah, so no doubt I will mention this to Ash. She'll no doubt love being reminded again. Have that running show kept alive.
Yeah.
She was tortured, I think, at the awards dinner last year by Dave, mentioning it every other sentence pretty much. But good fun had by all.
Absolutely. So we're halfway through the 3rd set here. Kirsty Skelly serving to Sophia Dwyer. That's 4-6. All to play for. Good attack, Kira. Very good attack.
Yeah, loose serve there, and it got what it deserved.
I always say very simply, good serving wins matches.
It is.
If you can't serve, you got a problem in your hands. You got to learn to serve.
Yep, exactly. It's one of the few shots in the game that you must hit every point. Serve, return to serve. They're just there. You'd be surprised, myself included, how little time players spend practicing in those 2 shots.
Agreed. Yeah. Serve, return, the 2 most important serves in the game. A little bit loose there from Sophia Dwyer, and you can see Bethany kind of using her experience to lean over and say, okay, let's steady the ship here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice push into the backhand corner from Bethany.
Yep, getting the unforced there.
So 8-7. Who's going to take the third? I'm going to go with the Munster girls.
See, is it boring then if I pick the same one then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be a little bit boring.
Well, I'll have to be wrong at some stage. You know, I have to get it wrong at some stage.
Yes.
So good serve from Kira.
Oh, nice. Just
Yep.
slam dunk there at the net.
And
Easy put away.
there we go. 2-1 for the Munster ladies.
Oh. Oh, it's a shuttle itself. Okay, so I thought she was picking up a power play to start off with. That would have been bold. But no, it was actually the shuttle she was picking up. That was on the power play.
It's nice to see Kirsty Kelly playing here this evening, and I know her dad is Brian is recovering. I know her parents for many years. Her dad Brian is recovering from I think it's a knee operation, or maybe it's a hip, a knee. But I saw him recently at the Irish Open, and Brian, if you're watching, it's nice to see you up and around again. And I know her mother is here this evening as well, Jean, and certainly the Kelly family are. You know, Kirsty very involved with underage teams in Leinster, and you know, so if I was to say they're a badminton family, it would be an understatement.
Indeed, yes. Those knee and hip surgeries. My dad had a hip surgery last year. You know, it's not pleasant, but you know, it's something that you can make a full recovery from, which is good to hear. So I hope that he is making a full and speedy recovery. And that's a classic example of why you should hit the middle. Yep.
I'll take it, you take it. Guess what? Nobody takes it.
Too late.
Simple
too
point.
Late. Yes, exactly. Oh,
unlucky.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
She decided so early she was going to play that tumble, but just didn't quite get the connection she needed.
Yeah, you see, I think maybe she came in what I would say to play a tumble, and I would have preferred to see her come in a more forward attacking as if she was going to play a kill. You know, there's a big difference coming into the net as a singles player playing a tumble and coming in as a doubles player with intent.
Yes, because when you show that with the tumble, when you show that, everybody knows it's going to be a tumble.
Absolutely, and your opponent, the far side, can see it and read it and jump the net.
Yep. Whereas if you come in with that flatter, more intent, it's like, well, are you going to push it?
You've got the option.
You've got the option.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You played a bit, Brian, didn't you?
Tried to play a little bit, you know, here and there. Hit a few shuttles.
Yeah, I was very fortunate, I have to say. I played with some very good players for many years. You know, particularly fortunate. You know, people like going back to Tom Reedy, Bruce Topping, Peter Ferguson, Mark Pearce, Chippy. Chippy's actually still playing tonight, which is incredible. So I've been very Eugene McKenna also, who's one of my closest friends to this day. So yeah, I've been very fortunate.
Eugene and Graham Henderson, a few Commonwealth Games representations right in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still haven't managed to beat those guys.
Right.
As I think.
Who are those guys?
Yeah, those guys. So when have I lost? I haven't beaten Bruce. I've got around him close. Me and Graham ran him and Mark close one time, I think. It was one of the Ulster, maybe an Ulster senior. And then Graham and Eugene beat myself and Daniel McGee in the Autumn Open final, senior final, I believe. You
lost playing with Dan, did you?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
It was annoying because we breezed through the tournament. I think one pair got like 5 off us, 15-5. And then we just got hammered by Graham and Eugene in the final.
Well, listen, you can't win them all.
That's true.
Nice to see Dan playing here tonight, and we might have a sneaky peek at his game in a while.
We will do.
Give him a bit of a hard time.
I think that, yes, after all some of the trainings he's put me through in the last few weeks, I think that
he deserves it. Yeah, I hear you.
Indeed. So we'll keep an eye out for when he's going to be nipping on court.
Yeah, I think he's playing a doubles with Scott Gilday pretty soon, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Indeed. Scott, another one of our up-and-coming youngsters through the system.
Of course, Kira Dwyer, just, I suppose, a point of note, her she's I suppose half Irish, half Kiwi. Her dad Mark is from New Zealand, and I've had many good chats with him about rugby.
Oh, I'd say he's it's one of their favorite, any New Zealand person's favorite topic is rugby.
Although strangely, he gets a little ticked off when I suggest that Brian O'Driscoll would get into any All Black team. Doesn't like that.
I would say not. I'd say he would have a few words to say about that, definitely.
Yeah. You see Bethany coming in on the net there again for me in a singles player position, as in playing a tumble rather than coming in, you know, with the racket high, looking to play a net kill. And that's really the way that doubles players should always, as you pointed out earlier, should be coming in high, and then you have the option of playing a net spin if you want.
Yes, definitely. I believe Beth, even in the last BPL, even though a couple of years ago, was playing singles. She played.
Doesn't surprise you.
Yeah, I think she played. I want to say was it Kate Frost in the first opening singles match. She almost took the first set. She got off to a really good start, but then just wasn't able to close it out. But 10-6 here. Match point.
Match point.
Oh, net cord.
There it is.
Oh, with the net cord. You love to see it if you're a fan of theirs.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, the two Munster girls, you know, that's an amazing. That's amazing to be able to do that. You know, it really, really is.
Indeed, we can still talk about that one. Just hop over to make sure everyone's getting live action. But yes, it was a really good win by them. Very close set at the start. Lost the second 11-6, a little comfortable, but then they kind of found their feeding. They found what was working for them, and they were able to close out the next two sets fairly comfortably. Yeah,
and always, it's always a pleasure to watch the formidable Jenny King on court. As we said earlier, one half of our current national ladies doubles champion.
Indeed,
champions. You know, and she's a fearsome competitor.
Yes, fearsome
she
is the
really
word I would
is
use.
fearsome.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and she's a fantastic mentor on court. You will find her, you know, driving her partner on. You know, and she has the skill of being able to get more out of, you know, to drag her parents or her partner up to a higher level.
Definitely.
A bit like a certain Roy Keane would have done at Manchester United, but maybe in a slightly different way.
Yes, I don't know. I always find Roy Keane much more pleasant.
No, that's a bit harsh.
It is indeed. But I under 15, under 17 used to play with Jenny, so I can make those remarks. I feel I've earned my.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of being on a number of national coaching trips with Jenny at under 13, and rumour has it, well, she tells me that we're doing it again this year for one you know, she says the dream team have been reunited. I don't know, but I'll just do what I'm told.
Yes, yeah. You know? It's safer that way.
Yeah, I just do what I'm told. But yeah, an absolute, what can I say? I mean, Jenny, you know, she's a former national ladies singles champion. She won it when she was 16. I remember it well because in the semi-final I actually coached her.
Very good.
I wasn't there for the final. That's probably why she won. But she has won. I'm pretty sure she's won the singles, doubles, and she has won the mixed, which is a very nice, nice little thing to be able to say. Not all in the same year, but you know, she's. But certainly a fantastic role model for young girls coming up and how to play badminton, how to compete.
Definitely.
You know, how to approach it, how to, I suppose, how to live your life in terms of, you know, incorporate sport into your life and live a good kind of healthy life. You know, she really is a fantastic role model. Of course, she's a mum of two now as well.
Yeah, mother of two. I was about to say, still finds time to go out, train,
absolutely,
play matches, does it all.
Yeah. So here we go. Love all. 2-1 up. I have to say I don't know too much about her partner this evening. She's probably one of the few players I actually don't know too much about here tonight.
I want to say I saw her playing a tournament in this hall earlier in the year.
You did. You saw her play the Autumn Open. She did play the Autumn Open. I don't know who she played with, but she did play the Autumn Open.
Yes, I believe I saw her play mixed, and I believe she spent more time at the back of the court than her partner. So it just gives you an indication of how strong she is.
That's a fantastic round the head attacking cross-court drive when most players would have let it drop and play underarm.
Definitely. I know my shoulder mobility would not have allowed me to play that shot.
No. They're very colourful shirts here tonight. Now, I have to say, I think the shirts at the far end are very Very colourful, very nice indeed.
Indeed. No, it makes it nice to that especially that contrast. You know, I don't know if that was intentional, but it's definitely nice to see. I believe, is that an international rule for some tournaments that you have to wear opposing colours from your opponents?
Yeah, usually what happens is if Ireland are playing, say, France, you have to declare your team and your team colours the night before. So we would usually have either black or red. So you would declare your colour. But if it turns out both teams are wearing the same, the higher ranked team gets to
wear their colours.
They get to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're talking about the smash down the middle.
Smash down that middle, yeah. It's such a high percentage shot.
Yeah. Someday people will listen to me when I talk about the benefits of hitting down the middle.
Indeed. A little bit of confusion there in the Warriors camp, but managing. Oh, looked in, but
not so sure.
Not so. Yes,
don't know. Yeah, no. She gave it.
Yeah, again, the camera angle, that could well
no,
have been
it's a good call. Very good call.
So 6-1, a bit of a lead here, but then they really need this lead. They need this set in order to stay in this.
You see that smash from Jenny there now. She just put it down the middle of the court and it was lifted out. So you really can, you know, it's a very clever play to hit your smashes down the middle. You will get so many free points.
Yeah, because even if it's not a winner and your opponent, it doesn't give your opponent many angles or many options to work with either.
But it does give your partner at the net a lot of options because it narrows the angle for them.
Yes.
You know, I always say a good doubles player at the net should be telling their partner where to smash. They should be guiding them, because if you're hitting down the lines, you're taking your partner who's in the forecourt, you're taking them out of the game. So it is important.
Yes, they almost have to then gamble, to almost guess which side they're going to go, because you have to commit to one, because it will be too fast. You won't be able to cover the ground in time to get to the other one. Oh, the unforced error right there. That 3-point lead could very quickly be eaten away here.
Absolutely.
Especially with the ability to hit winners that this pair has from the South Dublin Spartans.
We could very easily be going to 5 here, or with a bit of luck on this side, it could be even Steven again.
Yeah, one power play left each as well. Wondering if the South Dublin Spartans are waiting to use theirs at an opportune moment. This being their...
Very good here. Very good third shot there. The third shot is very important in doubles, as in the serve is one, the return is the second, and the third shot being able to... Sometimes a really good player, when they're serving, will be able to cut it out very well.
Yes.
So 7-all.
7-all, all to play for. No power plays yet either in this set. Gets the tape on the way over to keep the rally alive.
Yeah, I think we'll get a power play. Will we get a power play now? Why would you not go for a power play?
Yeah, unless they're... I mean, you're really holding off. You're trying to hold on for 9. Then do it on the match point, and then to bring you to match point, I guess.
Unlucky.
Yeah, good pressure there from the Western Warriors.
So it's 8-all. Bit of pressure on Lauren here now.
Yep. Good flick. Just putting her opponent under a little bit
I
too
always
much
think in situations like that, Brian, at 8-all, and Jenny is going obviously for the power play, you're better off just, you know, making the ballsy move and just putting the low serve in. If you flick, you're giving the attack away, and that's what happens.
It is risky now. Yeah, just trust your technique, trust your serve, and yes, I see what you mean.
I mean, we're effectively, match point. And you can see from Jenny there.
Smash the hip, yep.
You can see the clenched fist there.
The passion, yes.
If ever you wanted to send a woman out, you know, on your behalf to fight for your life, Jenny would be she'd be top of my list anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would have to agree right there. Okay, so waiting for some matches to start up. So I'll just stick us on our multi-view and we can see which ones are going to come on first. But yeah, I think some very good matches thus far. You know, we've had some 4 or 5 setters. We've had some ones that were could have went either way, but still over in 3. So I think we've been spoiled for choice thus far.
Yeah, we've had some great matches. We've had a perfect blend of youth and experience. You know, we've seen a number of different players from across the country really. I have to say it's a shame we don't have a team from Alpha direction, because I would have thought that they would be able to put a team together. There's some fine players, certainly up in Alpha. Now maybe some of them not playing so much anymore, I don't know, but it'd be nice if we had teams from all four corners.
Yeah, that would have rounded it off nicely. Like, I think I know some of the guys from up north have maybe gone on to some other sports. I know Tony Murphy is a big. I think he's been winning a couple tennis tournaments, some Ulster tennis tournaments, recently. So he's very active, just not on the indoor sports. He's decided to brave the Irish weather and play an outdoor sport.
I have to say, a player I would love to see playing again, and it's a player I would absolutely willingly pay money to see, is Tony Stevenson.
Yes.
He really is, as we say, Brian, where I come from, he is different gravy. He really is that one. Different class.
That is,
if you want to see how a shuttle should be struck, just camp yourself down behind the court that Tony Stevenson is playing, and you'll see very quickly.
Yes, his connection with the shuttle is very much unmatched, I would have to say, and a lot of creativity as well. There we go. So we have some action coming your way. Now, moving on to the mixed doubles discipline here. So, Mike, how would your feelings on mixed? I know it was one of your disciplines that you were quite good at. How would you compare that, like, different to like men's doubles, say, for example?
Yeah, well, I think it's a perfect blend of male talents with female talents, and yes. I think one of the main differences for me is, for example, if you look at Brian here, when Brian is playing doubles with say Daniel, he can afford to be aggressive on the serve and he can commit going forward. But in mixed doubles, the returns to serve are entirely different, and you've got to be careful because your woman isn't necessarily covering behind you; she's standing beside you, looking to cover the net. So there's certainly a big difference between where you're looking to play your return to serve in mixed compared to men's doubles, where you'll be probably an awful lot more aggressive. What you find in some partnerships, you'll find the man, will when he's returning serve on his side, he will cover that half court and the woman will cover the other half court. So, it really is about, being aware of the difference between the return to serve in mixed compared to men's doubles, and also just agreeing areas of responsibility with each other,
Yeah, so no, I think that's you get a lot more, maybe variety is one of the words. Like pairs have a little of different ways that they like to do things a little more in the mix. Like some, as you said, some pairs like maybe would pick sides, where some say, as you say, because when you're serving, the lady is standing next to you as opposed to behind you. So that's just a different dynamic than that some people manage to adapt to better than others.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very different dynamic, and one you need to understand. So we've got Brian O'Mahony and Bethany Wong, and we have David Walsh and Leonie Ward. David from Ballina in County Mayo, a top class player. I suppose he is, pretty sure he's been capped at senior international level. So he's playing with Leonie Ward tonight, who's has had the distinction of playing with her mother in a few tournaments. Georgina Ward, who's one of our underage national coaches. So
a very unique experience. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. And I keep getting asked all the time, Dad, when are we going to play a tournament? And that's a big ask for me, age 54, stepping on a court with my 20-year-old son. So I don't think that's going to happen.
We never know. In theory, then the pressure is on him to carry you. Like he's supposed to do all the grunt work, while you can sit there and try to tell him what to do and have him not listen.
Although I will say, my good friend Lincoln Nelson, when he injured his second knee, I did say to him, look, get your rehab right and we'll play a tournament together. And he rang me recently and he said, Omar, you owe me. So I think it's going to happen next year, Brian.
Okay, was this one of those you said it banking on it never happening
kind of thing? Yeah. It was meant to be motivational, and
yes, it was supposed to be motivational. You could look like the good guy without actually having to do anything. Yes, those are the ones that always backfire.
Yep. So anyway, here we go. Love all. You can see Brian very cleverly playing a cross-court forehand block there. Bethany following in. And it's 1-love already.
Yep, no, it's great to see there. I think that's what usually in the men's doubles, maybe you would see Brian, when he plays the block, he would follow in. But then maybe in the mixed, it's more like the ladies definitely hunting the net all the time. And mixed games can just be completely dominated if the lady can really just sit on top of the tape like Beth is doing there now. Unfortunately, unforced there, but that's what they would, the lady would be expected to do. And a lady can completely shut down a match in mixed if she's able to get to that tape and really dominate that area of the court.
No, absolutely, and that's one of the other big differences, is that any blocks played, it will be the woman who will follow in mixed, whereas in level doubles, you follow your own blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But a good start by the Munster pair here.
Yes, a couple of very good short serves from Beth. One of them actually kissing the tape on the way over, and the next one looked to be just grazing it. So getting a good bit of momentum on the short serve. As I say that,
as you say,
commentators curse, one too high, and it gets put down. So small lead here, but again, it's 6-2 when it's up to 11. That's a mountainous lead. Got a little bit lucky there with the tape. No, the entire right-hand side of the court was open, so it was there to be hit, but then just maybe didn't mean for it to be that tight. Yeah,
David Walsh, in fairness, is a top-class player. He's also doing a lot of coaching at the moment, so he's doing coaching and he's still playing at a very high level, which is very, very good to see.
Indeed, I believe we've seen an appearance from him at the Irish Open last week as well. He was in... I want to say he was in the singles. He had a tough three-setter, I believe, and then I can't remember off the top of my head what his doubles results was. But
no, he played doubles with Adam McAllister, who's, as we say, the pride of Roscommon.
Yes. Oh, actually, yeah, they got through at least. They definitely got through at least one.
Absolutely, round. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would look forward to see Adam McAllister playing in the Premier League at some stage. He is certainly one of the finest technicians we have at the moment. He played the Munster Open, and you know, you could put his game on camera and say, you see this is how you should hit the shuttle. So look forward to seeing him play at some stage.
Indeed, yes, we would really like to have him, definitely see him showcase his talents at the BPL.
Yeah. So set point to the Munster pair.
Yes, they're making this look not comfortable, but they're you know, 6-10, that is a comfortable scoreline. I think they just got off to a really good start with Bethany's serve going on a run, and yeah, they've just been able to keep that lead throughout the set.
Now, very interesting call there. Yeah, of course, just important to note the shuttle came on the court, but it's not an automatic let. If a shuttle comes on your court, it is only a let if it is deemed to have caused a distraction. So I think that's what the conversation was about there.
Yes. So
but the right decision. The right decision.
Okay. So does it? If the player stops, if the player sees the shuttle, even though say if it's on a different side of the court and they stop, does that count as a distraction?
Well, it's the umpire's decision. The umpire will make the call. Like, if, for example, if a shuttle comes on between the trams and you just stop automatically, you know, the clever thing would be to wait for the umpire to call it.
Yes.
It's like they say, you got to play the whistle.
Got to play the whistle, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, first set to Brian O'Mahony and Bethany Wong.
Yes, so 11-8, their opponents got a little bit of a run of points to make that set look a little bit closer than it actually was, I have to say. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get off to that same run of points that they did in the first. Now, then the interesting thing will be if they don't get that burst of points at the start, how will the set pan out?
Yeah, all should be revealed. All shall be revealed. I would... Yeah, I was going to make a prediction there, but I'm going to hold off for a minute. Because
is it too early for you to make your prediction? The obvious winner hasn't arisen yet.
Yeah, it's a bit too soon. I mean,
oh, it's unfortunate. They definitely managed to get almost hitting the umpire with the shuttle there.
Yeah, and in the umpire's chair tonight is Mr. Guy Wheeler. An experienced umpire, and all around bringing a bit of Bon Jovi to proceedings, really.
Indeed, and yes, I think one of the other courts, one of the lights might have went off, but we'll keep you.
We'll
updated.
Keep going.
Yes, we will keep going. Also, when I do with my own streams on my own Facebook, I have a few of my friends who fondly know him as Dog the Bounty Hunter. From his beard and longer hair look.
Yes, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yes, so that's what. And when I stream on my Facebook, that's what my friends refer to him as when he's in the chair.
Yeah, one of the good guys, Guy Wheeler.
Exactly. Oh, really good shot there by Beth to dig that out. Oh, getting the unforced there from our opponent. I suppose that's just another never give up attitude from Beth right there, digging that one out.
Yeah, you know, she really is formidable. I've nothing but respect and regard for her. You know, Brian there probably should be a little further to his right. I think he was too far to the centre and it caught him in the right hip.
Ooh, gets the net cord.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more cat and mouse at the net. Like, no, the obvious, you don't, the lift is becomes that little bit more important in mixed. Again, guys, remember the camera angle can make it look deceptive. We'll not judge here.
Yeah, it looked wide, I have to say.
Another few smashes up the middle, as you were saying.
I mean, I think one of the tactics in mixed is usually if you're playing mixed, you prefer, you're certainly, I think, at your strongest with the woman in the forecourt, like Bethany is there now, and Brian in the rear court. So I think the battle is always in mixed is I'm trying to get your woman to the back and you're trying to get mine, and it really is a fantastic cat and mouse situation. Okay, I would like to see Bethany get more forward.
Yeah, I think we're
just a little deep in the court for me.
Yes, agree with that. I think when they were playing some these two play A-grade tournaments together, and usually when they're playing, when they're playing well, is when Beth is just constantly moving around the court. She's constantly like jumping the net. She's constantly attacking, causing problems for her opponent.
No, she really is. she's a fantastic player. 6-5. And yeah, it was slightly long. So 6-all, second set.
Again, this is what I. Oh, that's unfair.
Yeah, very good return to serve from Bethany, and forcing, almost forcing the mistake from Leonie. So another mistake. It just shows if you can serve well,
yes,
you will cause problems for your opponents. It really isn't rocket science.
Yeah, it's just not really giving them a lot of options. And if it's tight to the net, then you make your opponent feel like they have to play a better shot than they actually have to.
And there's Brian switching to serve out wide on David, who wasn't expecting it, and another unforced error.
Yep. That's a nice push shot from Beth. The obvious one there would have been a tumble. And
of course, it's up Leonie's backhand side as well. 7-9. Okay, this could be 1-all very quickly, or it could be 2 sets for the Munster pair. Yeah, probably not the right choice from Leonie to flick to Brian.
Yeah, that's a brave flick, I have to say, to someone with his height. A little bit too high from Beth there, but her serve's been good thus far, so we can't be too harsh on her.
No, she's doing fantastic out there. 8-10, yeah, and rightly calling for the power play, and you see Brian stepping up, and probably not the right return to serve from Bethany, because her opponent is left-handed and it was straight onto her racket, but it's easy to say that sitting from here.
Yes, as a fellow southpaw, I've lost count of how many free points I've gotten.
Oh, you're a southpaw? Yeah, I didn't realize.
I'm a southpaw indeed, yes. So
yeah.
You
see, for me, southpaws are either one of two. One, they hit like smoke.
Yep.
Or number two, they've got an unbelievable touch. And if you're very unlucky, you'll find one who does both.
Yeah.
And then you're in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
But here we are, 1-all.
Yes, again, they were definitely in it, but again, that power play proving just to be that bit more exciting. That's just that extra element that you have to watch out for in the BPL.
And a big shout out to Georgina Ward, or as I know her, Georgina Kinsella, coming out coaching him. I know she's had an op on her leg, and I had the pleasure of being national coach with her in Slovenia at the under-17s last year. An incredibly knowledgeable woman, particularly on mixed doubles. So I'd love to hear what words of wisdom she passed on to her daughter there.
Yeah, we'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall, yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, 1-love.
I suppose they will be looking to get that nice start to the set, which seems to be, just that solid short serve. Just make your opponents come up with something special, which they haven't really been able to do consistently.
Yeah, David Walsh now wouldn't be known as a mixed player. He certainly plays, singles and also plays doubles, but wouldn't be known as a mixed player, but is a top-class player. I would like to see him maybe attack Brian's body a bit more off the return of serve and be a little more aggressive.
There's that. You must have that microphone. Someone's listening. Very next shot.
I think it was just wide, maybe. Yeah. No,
they gave it to them. Very good. Very generous call, I think.
For Brian and Bethany, 4-love.
Yeah, she's just not finding any options that are working for her.
And you can see Bethany there taking up the traditional ladies doubles position when partner is serving. You will find a lot of women nowadays that will swap sides. So what they do is they always face the receiver. But it's very interesting to see. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just the game changes. People do different things, and you do what works.
Indeed. That's one of the things I do like about mix is you do have that variety. People have different styles, and there's definitely a lot of room for people coming up with new ideas and new formulas to try to solve the puzzle that is this game.
Absolutely. I have to say I would be in favour of switching sides all the time. That's what I would coach, because I think to be able to face and challenge the receiver to cut out the third shot for me is the way I would like things.
A little bit of confusion in the camp, but they're still in this rally.
Yeah, Leonie just a little bit slow to get forward there. Any time if it comes up in the air, if it's 50-50, it always has to be demands. It's as simple as that, because David will hit a lot harder than Leonie. So just maybe she needs to get forward a small bit there on the lift.
Yeah. That's, I mean, there's never a good time to have an unforced error. No, that's especially not when you're this much down. Like, that's a 2-point swing effectively. It's nice. He did well to cut that one out. He jumped out in his forehand side, put pressure on them. Did David. That serve, it's just a little, just put them under pressure from the word go.
Yeah, just a couple of errors creeping in here now. Actually, Brian, rumour has it we might be interviewing 1 or 2 players later on.
Rumour has it, yes. So I think we've sent one of our talented people down to round up maybe a few people to interview. So I think we have a few.
Our boss has to come back to us, does he?
Yes, he does. So
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Yes.
Yeah, well, we have made 1 or 2 suggestions, but.
Yes.
Just stay tuned, folks. There will be 1 or 2 stars coming up, and they will be sharing their thoughts with us on badminton and maybe perhaps other matters.
Yes, a bit of badminton, bit of the BPL, a bit of life in general. So, yeah, we're very excited to have some people
stars
joining us.
coming up to be interviewed.
Stars indeed at some point.
10-5, and it's out. Yeah, just probably Leonie, you know, probably wouldn't have maybe the experience of Bethany, which obviously she will have as she gets, you know, a little older.
Yes.
But Bethany and Brian using their experience there to take the third set, 11-5, and Waterford's Lucy Fox out there giving him a few words of advice.
Yeah, just kind of, I suppose for Lucy, just kind of like keep it between the hedges. You know, you're doing the right things. You know, you've got the momentum. Try to just keep things on track. Don't need to make it too fancy.
Yeah. So what you'll find here is you'll find from the moment the umpire calls game at 11-5, the players get 60 seconds. So they get 60 seconds, and a guy will call them on court, usually with about 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, just another example of how I myself am still learning the rules is when I believe I was coaching at the Nationals that I believe Seamus was in the chair, and then he said, 20 seconds, players, 20 seconds.
And you went 20 seconds what?
Yeah, and he turned around to me and it was, Coach, 20 seconds. I said, yes, I heard you, 20 seconds, and I continued talking, not realizing that the rule is when he says 20 seconds, that is your cue as the coach to go back to your chair. So again, we're always learning.
Yeah, you know, as I said, I played competitively myself for many years, but I only realized that when I started to umpire, how little players actually know about the laws of the game.
Yes.
And it is it's been very kind of interesting to become an umpire and understand what the laws actually are.
Indeed. I think that's when I started doing some commentating and a little bit of coaching is when I started to really realize, oh my goodness, there's so many gaps.
Absolutely.
So I've got so many gaps. So I've had a few, for example, at the Paris and various other times when I've been staying at the same hotel as some of the international umpires, in the 19th hole, you could say, I was able to sit down and bend their ear on some of the rules and different things. So I learned a lot from spending time with them.
No, absolutely. So it's 2-4. Brian and Bethany slightly playing catch up here.
Indeed, but 1 power play left each. You'd be really looking to see when Brian and Bethany will be playing theirs, as this in theory they would in theory want to close this out as soon as possible.
An unforced error there by Leonie, so 3-4. Yeah, taken very early by Leonie at the net and finished by David.
Yeah, she was able to keep that on her forehand side, on her stronger side that time, and then that was able to give her like the easy overhead to put that one away.
Yeah, very, very important in mixed to always looking to be, or even in doubles, taking control of the net. Whoever controls the net will force the lift and will spend more time on the attack.
Yes.
So there really is that front third of the court is what the battle is all about, really.
Oh, definitely. And again, just these guys this looks like it could be going towards.
Could go the distance.
I think it's looking like it's going to go the distance.
The full 12 rounds.
Yes, the full 12.
That's a good return by Bethany Wong there from David did the right thing. You know, he attacked the woman, but Bethany was perfectly positioned, and that's why you always want the woman cross court where she can play the straight block, which she did to great effect.
Indeed, because then it becomes almost a gamble, because obviously a cross-court smash, it is further to travel, therefore when it hits the opponent, it's going to be going slower. So it's always that gamble. It's like, yes, the middle or the straight smash is usually the bread and butter, the main shot you would use, but then it's like, right, do I roll the dice and hit cross-court at someone who quote-unquote should not be as strong, but then you completely opening yourself up.
Absolutely. It's a case of, if you want to come at me, you're going to have to come at me cross-court and take your, take your best shot and take the risk. And that's what happened there.
Yes, you're living by the sword, dying by the sword.
Absolutely. 5-9. So you're wondering.
Power play, maybe? Nope.
No, I don't see.
Oh. Teed up.
Yeah.
Teed up a little bit there,
yeah.
Bethany. Having just to take that one. So unless they thought, right, we're going to save our power plays for the 5th. That was a little bit just too, like if Beth had
there we
played
go.
That one, yeah,
it's 2 sets all.
Yeah, maybe if Beth played that one straight, you could have followed it, but it was a little brave to play across court. But again, maybe she didn't have the options with the smash she had.
So now you can see at the start of the first why I couldn't call this.
Yes, indeed.
It's now 2 sets all and all to play for.
Indeed.
All to play for.
Yeah, I think if Leona can get a little bit into the game, I think that would really swing the momentum their way. She's looked like in the sets that they've lost, she's looked a little bit like not that she doesn't know where to go, but she looks like she'd be much more comfortable on a ladies doubles court necessarily than a mixed. Because I think in mixed the lady is not expected to, but like it's almost like a multiplier effect. As if she can take the net, it has such a large impact. Whereas in ladies doubles, it's like it's good if she takes the net, but it's not essential. Whereas in this, it's game changing.
You see what Brian is trying to do there, or what he should be trying to do, is push Leonie from the net backwards, and he should be looking to basically target her and push her away from the net. That's what David is also trying to do to Bethany, and it's. You can see Bethany there playing a good return, the right idea, but just missed it. In other words, she's not looking to lift the shuttle. Now that's a poor serve, but I think she got away with it.
She did get away with it. There you go.
Clipped the line. So let's see. I'm going to go for the Munster pair.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. One, because they're the Munster pair.
Yes, of course.
And number 2, because I just think they'll be a little bit more steady.
What? Yes, I think the momentum. Despite, that's a funny, interesting, because yes, despite David and Leona winning the last set comfortably, they're still, the Munster pair is still looking a little bit stronger in this.
Unnecessary lift there from the net by Bethany. So yeah, I'm going to back my Munster pair. I think they're just going to be a little steadier. But I suppose I have to be wrong at some stage.
Well,
good
so
shot,
far
Brian.
so good. So far so good.
Now, a couple of good serves from Bethany Wong needed here. A little bit wild, but look.
Yeah. I do think this is going to be a little bit determined by Leona. I think that's because everyone else has been fairly consistent. She's just been the one who's fluctuated a little bit. Like they're just a little bit out of position.
You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Hitting cross court.
Yeah. I think, no, in fairness, she wasn't necessarily out of position. I think David set her up a little bit there. Maybe long? Yep. Long.
Better option there would have been to put that cross court into Leonie's corner. Well done, Brian.
Well done, yes. Followed up. Serve is a little bit high, and yes, Brian correctly came forward and stayed forward to get the easy put away.
Yeah, the key is if you're a man and you attack the forecourt, if you commit, then you have to commit.
Yes.
You know, but you can't commit all the time. You have to pick the time to commit and just trust yourself that you're picking the right time and go all in.
Yes.
So we're changing at 6-4 up in the 5th set.
All to play for. It's still 2 power plays left in the match.
And you know what, Brian? That power play could be the difference here.
I think so. The question is now, like, if you're David Leona, when do you just use it the next opportunity you get? Like, do you use it now to try to take a quick lead, or do you save it in the hope that you'll have a better opportunity to use it? Oh, really good service return right there.
Yeah, that you see that return of serve by Brian, top class. But for me, David should be looking for that. That's what he's waiting for.
Yeah.
And there's another good serve which forces an error. And I think pretty soon now, serve it wide, Brian.
It's a really good body serve right there.
I think if he wins this point, they will go for
power play.
The power play. Play the block, Bethany. Just play a little block and get in.
Oh, she did. Oh, the
fantastic.
Cross-court smash. The cross-court smash from Bethany. Are they going to use the power?
Was that even a backhand cross-court smash, perhaps?
What that was, but it was good.
And surely, yes, we're going for the power play.
Nice. Bring it to match point. Match point here in the fifth.
So Brian O'Mahony to Leone. Got to be careful on that left hand. You can see there Brian is serving. Bethany is pushing up, but she's pushing up on Leone's forehand.
Yep.
And sometimes you forget, oh, she's left-handed.
Yes.
But you've got to be aware of things like that.
Indeed.
6-9 and a power. No, it's not a power play. I thought it was a power. It is a power play.
They're using it right now. That's the way to do it. Oh. Again, that's just, I think it's like in the last point she played solid. Just pop, couple down on her forehand, won the point there. A little bit overstretched on her backhand.
An unforced error.
Yep.
Match point.
Really well played there by Dio. I think really set that easy kill up.
7-10. You've got to be attacking the serve here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, just unforced error.
Just an unforced error again. Well done, Brian O'Mahony and Bethany Wong.
Yes.
And hard luck, David and Leone.
Indeed. Another really good. Another 5-setter. My goodness.
Yeah.
Getting treated so quickly.
So I was going to say, I hate to say, but I told you so.
Again, you're on a roll tonight.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll. So we shall hop across to. Just have a little scan of the courts right here. This one is just started.
Yeah, and a very interesting partnership here for one of the Mount Pleasant teams is Sophia Noble and Owen Maron, who a fabulous player. I'm not sure how much he competes anymore, but he's he's got the distinction of both his parents, Pat and Ita, have both been senior internationals in their day as well. Pat, I think, certainly has 3 national senior men's singles titles to his credit, maybe a mixed as well. So yeah, you could say he's from Badminton royalty.
Indeed, he is. Yes, I remember seeing Pat myself playing back when I used to
back in the day.
Back in the day, indeed. You know, stop trying to guess how many years it was for a while. But yes, very crafty, very knowledgeable, even in his later years on the court. Always knew his way around, knew where to put the shuttle. Yeah,
very skillful. And at the other end is somebody I've known for many years, Willie Lacey. And Willie, during my career, Willie always looked after me, and he always strung my rackets with the finest of Ashaway string.
Very good.
So yeah, Willie.
I believe you still sport an Ashaway today whenever you grace the courts, is that correct?
Well, I haven't graced the courts for a long time now, but my son certainly sports Ashaway.
Okay. So you commandeer one of his.
Yeah.
I believe it was the coaching conference. That would have been you last time I saw you on court.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes.
Probably with one of his rackets, yeah. Zymax 66, 28, 29 pounds.
There you go.
So here we are, Sophia Noble, 7-3. It's hard to call this one, really.
Yes, I feel because we've got two, let's say Owen's a singles player, but 2 very solid, very consistent.
I'll call this end. I'll call Owen Maron and Sophia Noble.
Yeah, I think they're the rock solid. They'd be the bookies' favourites in this one. I think the other 2 are going to have to come up with something quite special in order to come out with the win in this one. Yeah,
Owen a few years back, it may have been when Nat Wien won his first national title. But Owen Maron would have played him in the singles final. So I mean, he is absolutely from Badminton royalty. His father originally from Adair in County Limerick, and would have been very, very good to me when I as a young Munster chap, started to come up to Dublin and play tournaments, would have put me up on many an occasion. So yeah, the Maron family, certainly badminton royalty.
See there, that point well, should have been over and done, but then Owen's defense, that solid play coming into play there, able to dig out and get a point that they really had no business winning. So 11, that's the first set. Very comfortable looking, I have to say, in that first one, just from the solid pair.
So my prediction so far is
so good.
We're on track.
Yes, so far 100% record. Okay, so we have a very special guest with us in the booth that we're going to hop across to our webcam, as I've no doubt she'll be very happy.
Are we interrogating or interviewing now?
Oh, not at all. We'll go interviewing, of course, interviewing. So we'll just hop across now to our camera. We have our very talented Bethany Wong.
Hi,
so
guys.
Bethany, how's it going?
It's extremely warm in there. It's like Bikram badminton. So not only is it hard enough in normal circumstances, it's also really, really warm.
It's like a sauna in there today.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I believe you're only back from 6 weeks now from having your firstborn?
Yeah, so 6 weeks ago, our little baby girl was born, Fia. And then I started playing probably about after 3 weeks. And then last week was my first kind of more competitive match. And then I got roped into this because I don't know why. Brian basically said, I'll be fine. So I believed him. And funnily enough, he was kind of right.
Yeah, no, you seem to be playing well.
So 3 weeks. Well so 3 weeks, just to kind of show us up. 3 weeks after you've had your baby, you're back on a badminton court. That is crazy, absolutely crazy. And
you're not meant to tell women that they're crazy, then. Like
it's fantastic. I mean crazy. I mean crazy in a fantastic way. It's and not only are you here, but you've played 2 and you've won 2.
I've had really good partners, to be fair, who have managed to carry me. So yeah, lucky in that sense.
Well, you have a good partners, but at the same time, you definitely have held your own. You look like your movement seems good. Your shots seem mostly
Adequate.
there. Adequate, mostly. I didn't want to.
It's hard when you're playing Leonie, who's like a left-hander and just gets everything back down here, and then David obviously has a massive skill of every single shot possible. So I was lucky to have Brian to carry me.
So how are you guys adjusting to parenthood and getting back on the road again in tournaments? I mean, I see you here with Cormac and you've got Fia with you. So like, how is that new dynamic? How's that working for you?
We have been lucky. So last weekend was the Waterford, where we basically asked the organisers to only put us on alternate matches. And then Shane Gilday helped to babysit this today up in the stands. I noticed that in the bar, yes. So it's lucky in a way that we're able to both play, because it's a bit more of a family enjoyment weekend rather than one person going off and not being able to have the family time. Yeah,
it's I don't think you'd be short of any babysitters. I think there's probably a queue outside there waiting to babysit.
Like taking tickets, like your 30 minets here to babysit.
Are you offering for next time then?
I mean, I don't know if I would have the skills to do it, but
you never know until you try there.
I guess that's a big risk with myself, I think.
Bethany, what do you think of the Premier League? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's great to be back after a little hiatus with COVID. And it's nice in a way that there's more teams, because it allows more players and then more supporters of those players. But you do run the risk of the standard being lower if you've got more players. But I'm delighted I'm able to play. And it's a different game. 5 to 11 is very, very different. And you get upsets that you wouldn't see in open tournaments just because of the speed of the game. But no, I'm delighted it's back. It's good fun.
Yeah, I believe it was your opening set in the mixed. You went on a run of points, like maybe 4 points with your serve, and then that was almost the set. That was kind of the deciding factor in the set. Yeah,
and it's hard to serve to someone like David as well.
yes, exactly, yeah.
But no, it's a different game, but it's good fun.
Yeah, okay, that's why you do what you do. It's very different. I've played this format once or twice. It is a different sport entirely, and it's a team event as well. Is very much a cauldron. It really is very, very it's a very different dynamic to coming and playing a Leinster Open in 2
Yeah.
weeks' time, for example. But look, maybe it's the future again, 5 sets to 11, who knows?
Didn't they try that before? Did they try 5 to 11 or 5 to 7 or something?
Yeah, they've tried various scoring systems, but they always seem to revert back now to the 21, best of 3 to 21. So
Yeah.
now this is my favorite. I think a lot of people share that sentiment, but
So which is your favourite?
the 11.
I
up to
would
11.
absolutely agree with you. I think
Yep.
to some degree, I think the modern game is boring until 15 all, and you can see players saying, okay, right, now it's the business end of things. So I would be hugely in favour of the 5 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we've a lady with us tonight who has played 2-1-2, so, you know, what's
Yep.
your thoughts?
I mean, there's not much brain power going on right now. Like sleep deprivation,
that's
I need
not
to
what
eat
we
some
see.
dinner, and I'm playing in Bikram badminton. So
But you're still winning. You're still winning.
well, thanks ever so much for
Okay.
commentating tonight as well. It makes it a lot more fun.
Ah,
My
let's-
parents in the UK are watching as well.
Oh, really? Do you
Oh,
want
wow.
to give me a shout out?
Ros and Sang Wong. Shouting out to you guys.
All right, Beth, thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
so much,
joining us.
Bethany.
Yes, well done in your matches, and enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll let you get back to finding whoever's babysitting at this moment
Yeah.
in time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, we are back and we are hopping into more mixed action. So one of the players we've talked about a little bit, we haven't actually seen yet, is Scott Gilday here, just hopping on our court number 1, which I pressed the wrong button, which no one noticed, of course. And so here in the mix, so they've won the first 11-8. Again, close, only a couple of points in it, but are looking to take the second something similar. So we will join the action here with the power play. What a time to join. So this would be set point, and really good shot.
And you could see there very clearly, Brian, that his partner called to him for the power play, and she's very, very good in the forecourt. Very, very good. And the result is they're 2 sets to love up. And they're playing against Rian Fox-Hughes and Molly Davies from Galway Lawn Tennis Club. And Declan Bennett out there giving them some wise words, which they probably need at the moment because they're 2 sets down.
Yes, 2 sets, and again we didn't see the first, but the score looks not comfortable, but you know it does look very convincing still at the same time. And then that second set, that's all it takes, 1 power play. The lady taking charge, jumping a couple of shots at the net, and that's all it took to close that one out.
Yeah, and at the far end you see the man, the myth, the legend, and a good friend of mine, Mark Topping, passing on some, hopefully from his perspective, valuable words of advice. Mark, you know, full-time badminton coach himself, former senior international.
I believe, would you know off the top of your head what his world ranking would have been with Bruce? 40-something, right? 44?
I'm going to guess it was around the 50-ish,
50?
somewhere in the region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, around that 50, so top 50 in the world doubles, so obviously a lot of experience, a lot of international tournaments under his
Absolutely.
belt. He's been there, he's done that, he's got the t-shirt. A little bit snatchy there from the lady, but no, it lands in. I stand corrected. Again, she just dominated. Like this, they're just really taking control of the net here, and there's not a lot that their opponents seem to be able to put up with thus far. Yeah, just down a few unforced errors. The Western Warriors look a little bit lost here. Now, again, they're up against a very solid pair that don't seem to have any holes in their game just yet.
Yeah. Well, what's happening at the moment is Dia serving really, really tight, really well, and Scott Gilday behind her isn't lifting unless he has to, you know. And in fairness, she's very, very good. I haven't seen much of her play, and as soon as I say it, she balloons one out the side. But everybody is entitled to one of those.
Exactly, yes.
But she's very, very good.
Yes, not just me cursing people with the microphone tonight. I'm glad to see.
And there you see Scott Gilday just charging down the serve, which we haven't seen an awful lot of tonight.
Indeed. And interesting, Scott standing at the front, picking up the forecourt. You don't see that in mix very often.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering why that is.
Because Scott is certainly by no means weak at the back. You know, he's got a good hit on him. He's solid. So interesting why that they would choose to use this formation. Obviously, she feels very comfortable at the back. I wonder if that's a decision that maybe she made and Scott didn't want to argue with it.
Well, it's possibly that, because it's not, you know, it's not how they should be playing, because it is mixed doubles. But
yes, I think
it's certainly surprising. But it may also be, you know, we're 2 sets and 6-1 up.
True. Maybe that's how she likes to play. Maybe that's they're experimenting. It's hard to know. But yes, I think that works at a certain level, or will work to a certain level.
Yeah.
I think it's once you hit a certain standard that the pairs, more traditional mixed pairs, will be able to like exploit some of those. So we got a power play here, trying to get back into this set as quick as possible.
Fabulous return of serve cross court, and again, not for the first time tonight, Brian. We've said that middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got to learn to hit that middle, hit the tee. It's kind of common ground. It's no man's land. It's safe as a house, and it's going to win you lots of points.
Indeed.
And that serve looked wide from Scott.
Yep, it's called wide. Again, Scott just looks very clinical right now. Looks very clinical, very comfortable.
And we're going for a power play just to finish it off here.
Yes, just to really put this one to bed. Nice. Scott looking very solid, but maybe a little bit too casual on the defense right there. Give his opponents the opportunities to hit.
It was a very good hit to the right hip, which is for a right-hander is the spot you don't want to be retrieving the shuttle from. Oh, that was a little bit loose from Scott, but you know, it was good enough. 10-5 match point.
And enough pressure from Scott there
and
to force
the
match point. Yes, force the error.
Yeah, I just think the guys had too. Scott and Dia had far too much for the Galwegians, if I can use that term.
Yes, we should make that a thing.
Yeah,
hashtag Galwegians. So I believe there's only hop across the court too. I think it's the only one with the active match on it. I believe we're unfortunately running out of time, not running out of games to commentate on. But this one is looking a little bit one-sided for the time being. So we'll watch this one, and then I believe we've another one, possibly two more.
Yeah, I think this one is far from being. It's 4-all in the third set. So you know, it's far from being all over. About shouting, as they say.
Indeed. I believe we are going to cut to our webcam again. We believe we have another very special guest with us now, and we shall.
I wonder who is it.
Who is it? Who is this?
Who's in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen? It's Sophia Noble.
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
You're very welcome to the Premier League. What do we call it? Officer webinar booth.
Commentary booth.
The booth.
Yeah. So how are you, Sophia?
Not too bad. Yeah. Man P doing very well. Very well represented here, I think, tonight. Yeah.
How was your singles tonight? I know you were playing against
Another Mount Pleasant
Yeah.
player. Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah.
Shifa played very well. It was definitely closer in the third set than the other two. And yeah, she definitely put it up to me in the end. So it was close.
Yeah, because
Enjoyed
you've quite opposing styles. You have you're very solid. You make very few mistakes. You can run opponents down. You put a lot of pressure on your opponent, whereas Shifa tends to be like, she's got creativity. She can hit some strange shots that like weird angles you wouldn't expect. But so how do you find that coming up? Do you like that matchup, or do you prefer to go against your own style?
I think for me, I definitely like the running style. I'm probably more of a defensive player, so it's certainly like different playing against someone like Shifa. But no, I think that like she attacks a lot and it works well for me because I'm able to take off the defense. But yeah, I love playing against different game styles and seeing how my game matches and adjusting based on what my opponent's giving me. So yeah.
How do you find the 5 sets to 11? How does that work for you?
It's different. You need to be sharp from the beginning, which is the kind of thing. Like if you're a slow starter, it's not really gonna work in your favor. Like a lot of the matches today, you'd see were 1-3-2. Certain sets just going because a player that might usually kind of be expected to lose would have gotten off to a better start. So yeah, you definitely have to be very focused from love all with this style of game.
And do you find that the power play adds an extra element that you do? Are you thinking about that as the game goes along? Like, when do I use this? I've got 2 of them. Do I use it now? Do I try to finish this game? Do I try to go off to a good start? Or is it something you just think about it at the time?
No, I think it's for me. And when I was playing that singles, it was definitely in my mind. It's like it just adds another dimension of strategy to the game. It's like something that if you think about well, you use well at the right times. It can definitely help you in a match. So yeah, you definitely have to be smart about it and gauge what time is best for you. But yeah, it's kind of like a double win. So yeah,
it's a very good learning tool, because I know that when the top Danes, when they train, they have a laptop beside the court, and when they finish their training and they're absolutely on their knees, they have to go over and make a decision as to what they want to do next. The whole idea is that that's what you got to do on court, and it's exactly the same with the power play. And I think you can see Sophia, even though with her young years, is very capable of making the right decision as regards when to call the power play.
Yeah, so it's great to see. So how are you finding the BPL experience in general? Like this time around, I know it's been I have a couple years break, but how are you enjoying being back? How is it different from like the tournaments you normally play in?
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's more lighthearted, but there's still a good like element of competitiveness to it. It's really nice to come back when you're playing these events with all these players from different international countries to a hall with the familiar faces, people who maybe otherwise wouldn't be as involved in badminton, but this gives them a bit of a focus, bit of a training experience, something to work towards. So yeah, it's really nice to see all of my coaches and my players and parents and family come and support. It's just really good for badminton in Ireland, I think. Yeah.
And I think the team event is and we were away in Serbia and Slovenia and different places, but I think the team event it gives it a totally different dynamic to being on your own in a tournament. So how do you find what's going on behind the court? Do you find that gives you a buzz and drives you on because you've a team shouting you on as against playing individually?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean badminton, well for me anyway, because I'm a singles player, it can sometimes be quite lonely. You're preparing by yourself. It's it's not like a team sport, so it's very like individually focused. So it's good to kind of blend the mix of having the team sport aspect of badminton and then also the kind of individuality that is the game really. So yeah, it's nice. We support each other, and I often like to train in Mount P obviously, so I'd see all the players there, and it's a good sense of community. This is the first year I've actually played for Mount Pleasant, so it'll be nice to go back to the club and see the people in the office there and be able to do well for that community that we have.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We're very happy that you did.
Always a pleasure.
A pleasure as always. And no doubt we'll be keeping an eye on your results in the future, which there'll be, I'm sure, many to come in the future.
Hopefully.
So thank you
and
very
we
much.
look forward to seeing you in the Leinster Open here. I think it's Saturday week, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been very carefully watching, or should I say my son has been very carefully watching the draws, and I think we've, other than the nationals, we probably haven't had a lady singles line up that strong for quite a while. So certainly looking forward to to coming up. Maybe umpiring, I don't know yet, but certainly being here and supporting you all. So, Sophia, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Right, guys, hopping back into the action. Court number 3. We have 6 all here in this set. So interesting. We'll watch a couple rallies to get an idea of how this one's panning out. Obviously, in the score, there's nothing between the two.
It's nice to see my good friend Grace Webster, fellow Tipperary person, lining out.
Indeed.
Alongside Mark Cobb. And again, you've another of the formidable Flynn sisters,
Indeed.
NASA.
And if that first rally was anything to go by, this could be quite the match. A couple of times it looked like that shuttle should have been dead and the rally over, but they just kept going. A little bit snatchy right there, and that's opened up a 3-point lead.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call, this one. And very nicely cut off by NASA there, just showing how important it is to be able to keep your racket up and have fast hands in the forecourt.
Oh, not just unforced errors killing these guys. Like they were 6 all right away in it, and then just a little run of, don't know if it was concentration or what. And they've now are set point down. A little bit of a lifeline there from Mark.
Yeah, and of course, Paddy, rightly so, is going for the power play. Kind of puts pressure on him because he's got to get a serve in play. And to be fair, a poor serve, which got exactly what you would expect it to. But then, you know, to be fair, when you're set point down and you're serving, there's always going to be pressure on you.
Indeed.
So the first set to Mark Cobb and Grace Webster.
Indeed, yeah, that sort of got the treatment it deserved at this level. So now, not a whole lot in it. 1 power play used, interestingly enough, by the pair that didn't take the first set. So, I mean, they used one. They maybe thought they were behind and needed to try to break away, but just were unable to. So we're going to see in the second one again. Still early. It's just if they can tidy up those unforced errors that we saw from them in the first, I think this could be a very good game.
What's interesting, Brian, is the initial rule on the Premier League was that you had to be a B player at a minimum. But what we've seen tonight is we've seen a number of players who are graded C, but they're still playing, but they're playing tonight. And I suppose what we want is, we do want to make sure that whatever people's grades are, that we want the best players playing here, which we're getting. But what it does show is the players that are graded C should in effect be graded higher, you know, because they should be.
Yes.
But as we know, the grading starts with the clubs, with the counties and with the provinces.
Yes, I believe there's a in the national hall, there's a Premier practice night, I believe, that has been set up to try to.
That's right.
Get some, give these guys that, yes, so you can have a certain, maybe 3 or 4 players who are at a certain standard at one club, then another club. The idea is to give them somewhere they can all come together and get some good games. So from start to finish, the idea that it's when you go on court, you're going on maximum effort, full power, for the full time that you're on.
Well, the problem some players have when they come to play at this level, and this is quite, you're in the heat of battle. It's first to 11. It's really a million miles an hour from the start. You've got to be able to tune into this pace straight away. And the only way you can is if you're practicing at this level on a regular basis. Whereas if you're not practicing at this level and then you're trying to play at this level, you're going to have an awful lot of what we call unforced errors.
Yes, you don't really have time to adjust. It's not like a tournament necessarily where if you get like a round or two to get your eye in, or maybe you play the singles in order to get a bit of a practice used to the hall for then your main event of the doubles or mixed. Like, you literally have to be on point from the word go, and it's too expensive to your team to have to take a couple sets or to take a match to warm up to get used to this level, to get up to speed. So I think that was one of the main reasons for the Premier practice night to be set up, was to give these people a weekly opportunity to step on court and play at this level and play at this speed.
Absolutely. And just looking at, again, I'm commenting on all the umpires tonight who I know them. Our umpire tonight is, he's from, I believe, Santander in Spain, Yera Castillo, and he would have recently umpired in the Irish International.
He did indeed.
And he has recently just been accredited as Badminton Europe accredited umpire, which is a level above international status, if you like. So again, to be fair, we have some very highly qualified umpires here on show tonight, which is great.
Interesting. So what would be the levels? So you would have international, then Europe, then BWF. Is that correct?
Yeah, certainly the level that I have is level 1 at the moment, which is local. So I will look to go to level 2 in December.
And what does that allow you to do then, level 2?
Well, it allows me to umpire. I'm not exactly sure what I can and can't umpire at. For example, tonight they decided just to keep it to the experience and more highly qualified umpires, which is the right decision. But for me, I would be looking to get to level 3, and then if I get to level 3, I can do my international grading at the Irish Open in probably November 2024. So, there is a pathway there for umpires. What I would say is you can travel all around Europe umpiring at events and seeing top-class badminton once you get to level 4. And, you look at Seamus Halpin, who literally is umpiring as a BWF at the highest level. So my point is, you don't just have to be a player to be able to take part in badminton tournaments worldwide.
Yes, get the opportunity to travel, get opportunity to see the world, make your friends all very jealous on on your social medias with all the places that you're getting to go. So yeah, it's sometimes an underappreciated job. I think it's a lot more. Well, I would be quite nervous doing it. I think it's a bit more difficult than maybe it looks. Even though yes, you have some wonderful technology nowadays to help you out. It's still it's the best seat in the house, but it's also, I think, the hottest seat in the house. Opportunity
missed there to call the power play. I would have called the power play, but I think, with regard to the umpires, the one thing that I think the players they should understand and appreciate is that the umpires are volunteers. They don't get paid for what they do, and sometimes maybe that's not appreciated, or it could be appreciated more. So we're 10-all in the second set here. We're not.
We were briefly.
Yes. And it's now 2 sets to Mark and Gray. I think I called them to win, didn't I?
I don't think you did, but I'm sure you're going to claim that anyway.
I was thinking it. Yeah.
We'll take your word for it. But yes, so that, I think they would definitely have been, they would definitely would have been favorites. So the fact that they're now 2 sets up, you'd have to think that they would run away with this 3rd set. But that's another thing I noticed, just to mention it in this format, there is no setting. There is no win by 2 clear points that there would be. For example, if it's 20-all, you have to win by 2 clear, so you have to get to 22. In the BPL format, it's just winner takes all, next point.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I think the girls are pretty similar in standard, but I think Mark probably would be a stronger player than than Paddy. And as soon as I serve that, Grace serves it to the net.
That's always the way.
So interesting.
This is right off the bat. I thought someone might try this evening, but it's always interesting. We'll see how this one plays out. A little bit high on that serve, unfortunately not coming off this time.
I wonder how interesting it would be is if you could call the power play when your opponent is serving. That's really putting pressure on somebody.
That would be.
Would like to see NASA get more forward, and I think that's what Paddy should be encouraging her to do, is get forward and look to get more forward when they're defending, and try and look for the block and get in.
Yes, maybe just a little bit more of an intimidating, assertive position on court, yes. But they can look a little bit passive like there. She's
there she is.
Yeah. Nice, there
you go.
Came forward, put the pressure on, and squeezed out the error.
Unlucky. Tried the spinning net shot, didn't pay off. 2-3. So here we are, 4-2, third set.
Arguably unnecessary lift, but you know, all's well that ends well. Got away with it. Played the get out of jail free card.
Yeah, the safest option is always to hit the middle, smash to the middle. I think there's a lot of errors out the side tonight, and there doesn't need to be.
Yes. Ooh, almost got away with that, hitting the net. Managing to keep that in with some topspin.
Unlucky from Grace Webster.
Yes, indeed. You probably would have had money on her to make that shot.
6-3. It's quite a high serve, if I may say so.
Yes, that came down with snow on it, which you don't often see with a flick. Oh, held that one and just teed up to get his partner hit cross court. It was just too short, that lift. Forward, forward.
And you can see the bit of Grace is as much as she can. She's trying to lift cross court and get the shuttle into the far corner, which is basically saying to the man, if you want to come at me, just note that your backhand corner is free and I'm going to target it.
Yep, is exposed.
Absolutely.
Really good short serve right there.
Yeah, often the difference between the really good players and the good players is that the really good players, particularly in the serve and return a serve, they don't make the mistakes.
Yes.
You find a lot of serves, you know, with players from C down who are genuinely C or D or E or whatever, they will make a lot of mistakes in serving and returns, and that's, you know, it's often not the brilliance that makes somebody better, it's the fact that they do the basics right.
Yes.
They don't make mistakes, and as we spoke about earlier, Brian, in a set to 11, you know, you make a few mistakes, you've lost the set.
Yes. Again, I haven't looked up the numbers for badminton, but I know with tennis, for example, even at the professional level, twice as many points are won off errors than off winners.
Wow.
And then if you go down to like the college level, which in America is still very serious, it's still 4 times as many points are won with errors as opposed to winners.
Wow.
You know, so it just goes to show you, if you do a statistical analysis, like a money ball analysis, how simply just keeping it in the court is so valuable. Like, it's not hitting a smash and pinning the tram lines on a regular basis. You know, it's just that consistency that can really take you from pretty much one grade to the next. Is probably just down to consistency.
Absolutely.
You know, the way they strike the shuttle, their footwork, their fitness levels are all probably very similar. It's just what are your percentages when you hit a shot? Like, what's the percentage difference?
Absolutely. And we saw If ever we saw where statistics are important, it's in that film called Moneyball, as you quite rightly said.
One of my favorites.
Anyway, 1-love, fourth set. Be interesting to see if Paddy and NASA can get back in this game.
Yes, now taking the third quite comfortably. Now, you wonder if their opponents maybe got off to a bad start and thought we're 2 sets up. Maybe this third isn't as important.
That's a very, very high serve. I'm surprised that the umpire hasn't. And again, while it can be hard from here, but that certainly looks very, very high.
Oh, high as in striking the shot. I thought you meant high as in it was high over the net, which I thought it was.
Very high.
Okay. Oh, that's painful to watch.
So 3-1.
Yep, they have 1 power play left. It'll be interesting to see when they decide to use that. Do they try to really put the pressure on early, or do they save it to maybe when they might need it? Really good net shot right there. Somehow the rally's still going.
Yeah, I would like to see Grace hit there and move forward a lot quicker. She hit and she stayed, whereas she should be hitting and moving.
Yes.
But that's dependent on her partner getting out of the way to give her space to get in.
Just pushes it wide. There was the right idea, though. Right idea. You know, the problem is that because their opponent was at the net straight, she didn't have that option to hit, so she had to go with the more flashy cross court. So a bit of a lead opening up here. I'm feeling this could be the fat lady could be warming up her vocal cords.
You think?
I think so. This could be at this stage, unfortunately. But well, as I say that, winner cross court.
Just as you speak.
Yes.
Just as you speak.
Yep.
Almost taken Mr. Castillo out.
Yes. But yeah, she's just a little bit out of position right there to hit that shot, but I will give the credit to her opponents. Narrowing this lead though, only 2 points in it now. Don't have a power play to try to close it though, so they're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Just long. It's going to be about keeping one's nerve.
Yeah.
And he's going for the power play.
Nice. Just take this opportunity, try to get them that bit closer to the finish line.
And he serves into the net. Yeah, I think he rushed that. There's no question he rushed that a bit. He should have just taken his time because there was 2 points up for grabs.
Yes.
Then again, what would I know?
Exactly, yeah. Get at it. Jill has to give away the lift though.
Yeah, lifted cross court though, which is not what you would look for a man to lift
and
cross
again.
court again.
Just, yeah, that's interesting pinning that. Unless he's thinking, right, it's his backhand corner, but it's still a high enough lift for him to hit an overhead to still do some damage.
No, he should be lifting straight. He should be lifting Mark Cobb into his forehand corner and let NASA take up a cross-court position, hopefully whipping into his backhand corner or forcing the guy to hit straight. But yeah, it's certainly a little bit naive to be lifting cross-court and exposing NASA at this stage.
Several times in a row, might we add. But nice 1-2 combination right there.
Yeah. And it's 6-8.
Just these unforced errors, just allowing them to just sneak back into the game.
Oh, and she has flicked
That's twice.
Out. So it's 9-7.
Really good third shot right there.
Yeah, what she probably needs to do there is make sure that return to serve is past Grace rather than onto her racket.
Backhand clip smash. I like the audacity right there, but
you like that, do you?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I personally would have taken a step and hit it round the head.
Yes.
Just, you know.
Nah, I'd be too lazy for that.
Not that I couldn't hit it
yes.
backhand, but you know, I could.
Nice push.
You'd go for the flash option.
I'd go for the flash option.
And it's
that is
all
all she
over.
wrote. As they say, it is all over. Okay, so we have quick hop over to our multi-court here, so we'll have a quick look and see what options we have. Okay, joining this one in the 5th set. Yes. We have Lucy Fox and Cormac Megan, the husband of Bethany Wong, who we spoke to earlier.
Yeah, and in fairness to Cormac, he's back after some knee surgery, and you know, I think he was it was serious surgery, but he was always going to come back and play, and it's fantastic to see him lining out here tonight. Not only lining out, but lining out beside his wife, not on court, but she's here too, and,
Yes.
and their baby daughter. How good is that? How good is that?
That is amazing to see. Yeah, I believe that surgery was, I think that they couldn't do whatever they were planning to. I think they initially opened up his knee and thought, well, there's no cartilage left here. There's literally no, you've ground your cartilage down to dust. So I think there was nothing really they could do, but, you know, fair play to him to still have the desire,
Absolutely.
despite that, to come out here and, you know, continue to put his body through this intense sport that we have,
And
that we know and love.
We've just gone a power play there. I think Laura. No, sorry, the previous point was a power play.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
forgive me.
To bring them to 6, or did they lose it?
Yeah, no, she went back to the. I thought she was picking the shuttle. She wasn't.
Okay, now we have to now check what the umpire, no doubt, very experienced, will keep them right.
And it's 6-2.
We think.
We think.
We think it's 6-2.
Of course, an umpire's never wrong.
Exactly. The umpire's never wrong. You got to go with what the.
They're always right, even when they're wrong.
Yes. You got to go with whatever. Ooh, that's a bit loose.
Girl Lucy. 7-2. So you would have to say the pendulum is swinging very much towards the Munster player.
Indeed. Cormac with a forehand serve, which you don't see very often. I think Chippy was the only guy we've seen tonight that's sporting the forehand serve. But hey, if it works.
Kirsty Kelly forehand serving tonight.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, I think that lady you spoke about earlier is clearing her vocal cords.
Yes. Yes, the fat lady is getting ready to sing in this one, I think.
That's a very good return.
Again, because it looked just in, which means it was probably out on this line.
It's hard to call.
Yeah. Don't have a mic on the umpire, so we're going to have to kind of guess what he's saying. Is that a let? Is no one really sure?
Yeah, I think it's a let.
Yep.
Of course, the chance that the rule there is that if she can't call it, the umpire can call it or overrule it. But the chances of him overruling from the far side, which you can't see, are very slim.
Yeah.
So the right thing would have been to play a let. So here we are at 4-9. No power play left.
Ooh, jump to serve. That's what you like to see.
Absolutely.
So, match point in this epic. Oh, he tried to slide it down the middle.
Yeah. Would have been better just to put it in play.
Indeed.
He couldn't, could it?
He could. Ah, no, he couldn't. Oh, that was a flick and a half. It doesn't come off, and well done. Yes, well done. Really good win.
Cormac and Lucy.
Indeed, because, you know, got Irwin.
11-6 in the 5th.
Yeah, that was a really good win for them.
It is all over.
Yes, obviously Cormac having knee surgery has spent a bit of time off court as well, so it's good to see them back.
Absolutely. Great to see him back competing again. Great to see him back.
Especially hopping right back in at this level. I don't know what's in the water down there that him and Bethany are drinking, but it seems to be working. Alrighty, is that our... Yep, I think that is our matches all done. Do we have any? Do we have an interview?
Special guests? Do we have an interview?
Just checking with our
Boss?
boss. We'll go with boss. If so, there's someone we were thinking about interviewing, but he's at the opposite end of the hall, and I don't know if we're going to get him in time. He's sort of packing his stuff. Don't know if I don't think it's to come over to us. Okay, we have somebody running to get him. So we're going to have to fill some...
You'll have to wait and see who we're talking about.
Yes, we'll not spoil the surprise yet.
But to be fair to say, a legend.
Legend, yes, a legend of the game. A current legend as well. Obviously still playing, still participating.
Absolutely.
I believe he'll also be sporting playing in the Leinster in a couple of weeks' time, I believe.
That's correct, yeah. Perhaps, and I know he won't mind me saying it, perhaps maybe in the twilight of his career, but nonetheless capable of coming here. And I don't think he actually played tonight because of a partner got injured or something, but capable very much of showing the or giving youngsters a masterclass in tactics.
Oh, absolutely! I can see him jogging.
Yes, he's coming.
He's still got a bit of energy to jog, which is good to see.
Yeah, even at his age.
Even at his age, yes. Yeah, we'll get all these comments out now before he gets
before
here.
He enters the room. Yeah.
Indeed. So now we have a very special guest, and we're very excited to chat to our good friend. I think we can safely call him a very good friend at this stage. Very knowledgeable about the game. Is no doubt going to give us some good insight into what its various aspects of playing the BPL, playing as a dad, all these sorts of things. So very keen to get our next guest on. He was jogging. Maybe he jogged.
No, I think he's here.
Okay.
He's just about.
Just about. Okay, we're going to mic him up first before we let him get settled. Before we hop him on camera. Okay.
Talk to me, Goose.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Dan McGee, nice to see you.
Yes. What's the story? What's your question for me?
Thoughts on this evening?
Yeah, really happy. 5-2 win over a strong Western Warrior team. Some very good matches, some really brilliant matches from our younger players who really stepped up to the mark today. I'd say man of the match for us today has to be Vincent Pontanoza. So strong there in that last match, which was one that we maybe were 50-50 going into it, and he played an amazing singles earlier. So nice start for the Spartans, and happy for that match, and looking forward to the next one.
And what's interesting is for a guy who you would say doesn't really play much singles anymore, it's fair to say he focuses on doubles with Scott. For him to come out and play like that in the singles must have been very pleasing against a guy who has 2 provincial titles.
Yeah, Jack's form's been very good this year. Maybe the 11s probably would suit Vincent better than Jack, because Jack's like a really good endurance player and he works players down. So with that 11, you don't have the opportunity to do that. Vincent has that fast, explosive speed from his doubles training, and he was able to implement that into his singles and played a great game. I think I was warming up at the time in the last set, but he was 9-5 down, came back and snuck it. So great mentality, and again in the mix there, a couple of big points, and he's really stepped up. So great performance from him.
Nice. And I believe you've switched team this year. So
yeah.
How is that? Have you been welcomed from open arms? How is it going? I know there's a little bit of banter in the office. You know, Lauren was throwing a few things at you, playing some music at you in the office. So how's that switching teams dynamic going for you?
I miss Pembroke Panthers. They're a fantastic team. Brian Coughlin was the manager who first got me across to play for Pembroke. A couple of good seasons with them, and we win the BPL as well, so it was nice to win it with them. I actually played alongside Lauren in that one. So it's a nice switch to the Spartans now. I've been playing badminton with Mark Topham for a number of years. So delighted to play for his team and to get the 5-2 win and a good start. Got my doubles, but Lauren has the bragging rights for the mix this time, so hopefully get her again maybe next week at the Leinster Open.
How do you see which format would you prefer? Obviously, this is 5 to 11 is an entirely different sport almost than the traditional 3 sets to 15. Which do you prefer?
Like you mentioned, the 3 to 15, Mike, because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
our generation when we started, and Brian probably was when he first started, was the 3 to 15. So
Indeed.
3 to 15, so it's like again more endurance. You very
Yeah.
very physical matches. The 21 speeded that up. This game is completely different. You can see, like, especially with the crowd out there tonight, the heat in the hall is like really really warm. Shuttles are really fast. You have to be focused. You can't switch off for a second. Even in our doubles, we dropped the game because we were 10-9 up, got a bit complacent. They got a power point. Suddenly we were in a 2-1 lead and we have to switch on again. So you can't switch off with this scoring system, but it's really good in the lead up to a tournament to get you prepped, because there's so many pressure points. And I think that's what makes it probably more fun for the guys at home to watch as well, is all these pressure points. And you can see a lot of people using their power play early to apply early pressure, some using it to 9 to have that late pressure. So it's exciting.
Yes, do you find that it's an interesting dynamic with the power plays, that some people maybe, because I've seen some pairs losing and not using all their power plays. Do you think that it's some people just aren't used to using it? Like, do they forget about it? Or is it something like, do you always have it in your mind that you're thinking ahead, when am I going to use this? Like, do you kind of sense the momentum and kind of get an idea of when you want to use it?
Yeah, me personally, you can't go off that court without using your power plays. It's like an NFL not using their timeouts.
Yep.
You can see, like, it's a great way to break up the play, to apply a little pressure. I don't want to give away what I like to use mine on, but
Exactly,
I've used it both ways tonight.
Yes.
And we had 2 successful power plays and then 2 that didn't go our way. But they can change a match if you use them at the right time. To apply early pressure in the match, give yourself but some breathing room. If you've got the bottle and you can save that to a 9, then that's a really really good weapon. If you're confident enough to step up there at 9 and then use that power play to win, the 2 points. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out during the year, who's going to use it for the 9 or who's going to use it to apply the early pressure.
Interesting.
I think what's very interesting is what it does do is, I mean, sometimes players just go and play and the game plays them rather than they play the game. And I think if you have power plays, what it forces you to do is actually get off the merry-go-round and actually actively think and make tactical decisions, which is, as you well know, every top player needs to make good tactical decisions. So, I think it's a very good facet of this format, if you like. There's no question about that. What about our younger players, Dan? Any in particular, or are you able to say?
For me, I love this night because you get to see all of our young players playing in high pressure environments and seeing how they handle it. And there's been a lot of really good performances. You had a great match there between Flynn and Sophia Noble. Working under high pressure environment. You've had Vincent, who's really stepped up on our court. I'm not sure how the other matches went between the other guys, but I believe there was a really good game between Daniel O'Mara and Brian O'Mahony against Louis and Erwin.
Yep.
So
yeah, the Munster boys took that. I don't know whether it was 3, 4 or 5. I can't remember.
So
but the Munster boys won it.
That's what you want to see. You want to see these fast, hard games and these guys challenging each other. And this environment is great, especially week before Leinster Open. Everybody wants to get out there, get used to the courts, and in a good high-speed format.
Yeah, we were just talking about the Leinster Open earlier. Sophia Noble came in, and we were saying that initially the entry list for the Leinster Open seemed quite slow, but all of a sudden we have probably one of the strongest ladies singles draw that we've had for many years. And I know my son will be playing in it, but if he wasn't, I would still be coming up to watch it. So you'll be playing in that, but I'm sure you'll be looking forward to watching as well.
Yeah, brilliant. It's great to see a big entry in the ladies singles. Some of the tournaments have been smaller this year, but there's a big entry, but it's also good depth as well. And that's across all of the disciplines. Fair play to Leinster. They also raised the prize money for the doubles and the mixed categories. And you can see then the entry off the back of that has got a lot bigger. Even Mark Toppin was who's playing another Leinster Open, and he's won quite a few in the past. He was saying he was looking at the mixed lineup, and he doesn't see one pair that he would like to play.
Yeah.
So that's good to hear, because he's been around a long time. He's played at your generation, he's played in the middle generation, he's playing in the new generation. So if he's saying that it's strong, and he's played against the likes yourself, Mike, and that generation was very strong. It has depth then, so it's great to see that there's a good entry and a strong entry.
Fantastic. So, yep, there you go. Leinster Open next week in this very hall. So if you cannot wait,
come on down.
If you cannot wait to the next BPL night, there's plenty of action that you can pick up on the streams, or if you want to come down in person to watch. So, Dan, thank you very much for talking to us tonight. We're very happy to have you.
No, and just a big shout out to the BPL team. Well done. They've dressed up the hall brilliantly. You guys on the commentary, and Phil McKeown, who does masses of work behind the scenes, doesn't get the thank yous that he deserves. But he's buying me a pint later for mentioning his name. But but it's great. Thanks very much, guys.
Okay,
thanks.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you, Dan. So we done?
Are you going to sign off?
Yeah, I'll
do your sign offs, then say goodbye.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks very much for everyone who was watching us. If you've only watched it better, you stuck through us the whole night. I would like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank the organizers, the sponsors for getting the BPL back up and running. I know it was very fun for us here in the commentary booth to be able to watch these matches firsthand, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to our commentary, our thoughts, some sort of insight, good or bad, into what these players maybe go through. Any closing thoughts, Boris?
Yeah, no, listen, it's been fun. It's been a blast beside you tonight, Brian, and it's I hope people have enjoyed listening to what we've had to say, or maybe there's been a few that have put us on mute. But I think a big shout out to the BPL committee and for putting on a fantastic show, and the man here to our left. You know, I mean, I don't think we would be able to find words to describe how much work he does. And Philip McKeown, I mean, it really does bring an extra dimension to badminton, because we have people all over the country, and listen, you may even have people in different countries around the world who know us, who are tuning in and watching the Premier League because of Mr. Technology here to my left. So to those of you that joined in, thank you so much, and we look forward to the next time.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.